Last show of the year. Last show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Hi, guys. Hi, Andrea,
Hello.
Jake, and Matt. Matt, fresh off of a fabulous interview with the wonderful David Feldman. Yeah, how do you do?
Wasn't that cool?
Yes.
I think I just want to say I think that we kicked 2023's butt.
For sure.
I agree. You have. Yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
I might dissent. I disagree.
You don't think
course,
so,
but
Andrea?
you're wrong.
2023 has me by the ringer.
No. It has a lot of people by the ringer. 5 people on my Facebook before I came in here. 5 sick with
Dead.
COVID. No, they're
Oh.
not dead yet, and they're not gonna die, but they're sick. So that's a way to that's a bad way to end the year. But the good way to end the year is we're all here and we're not. So
Yes.
Ding, ding.
Good news about 2023. We all I just realized I don't want to say this out loud. But survived it at least thus far.
Mm.
I'm drinking
Yeah.
eggnog right now, so please expect me
You
to
are.
be bewildered in the
And
future.
coffee.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm drinking
Oh,
coffee.
that
forward
blanket
to it.
looks so cozy.
Coffee.
Do you guys like get to the end of the year and reflect? I choose to look
Yeah,
forward,
sometimes.
but
I always
do?
plan January, like the whole month. I've already got a plan. The whole month is ready.
Really?
Mm.
The whole month.
Whole month
right.
is
I
ready.
like that.
And what's the whole month? Tell me. Tell
I
us.
can't tell you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a secret
Surprise.
because that way. Okay, gotcha. Look at
I'm trying to
everybody's
decide
joining.
if there's enough time between now and New Year's night, like midnight, January 1st. I'm trying to decide if there's enough time to promote the cartoon that I did appropriately. I don't know yet.
dude, let's go. I mean, I'm so ready for this. I'll take a promo.
We got 2
even.
hours right
Yeah.
now. Let's go.
And you've been working on it, so we're all excited about it. Shit,
First
yeah.
of all, thank you for the offer. I might take you up on it. Second of all, the thing that the joy of this is going to be if I can get those fellas from the True North Eager Beaver podcast to act like they're characters on social media. I want them to go on tirades about why they should watch it on their channel and not mine. And I'm going to cut another promo similarly. Be like, do you really want to support Canada?
I love Canada.
So
Love
meta.
Canada.
I feel like it's so much.
Now
just
where?
move there.
Where's Canada again?
It's that way.
Is
North
voting
and,
mandatory?
East and South.
Mandatory.
Is voting? Yeah. Is it? Do they have mandatory voting? That's
That's
Australia.
Australia. Yeah. Compulsory.
Which is like
I-
next
I'm
to
embarrassed that I didn't
Canada.
know that. How do you have mandatory voting?
They fine
Marianne,
you if
tell
you
us how
don't
that
vote.
works.
You get a fine.
So-
You get a
No
fine.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, in the United States, that would never go.
They still vote for a bunch of stupid motherfuckers, though.
Yeah,
so
like
it doesn't really solve the
Cuvier.
intelligence problem.
Yeah.
Mm.
On our Christmas show, we had his name is Lightning Rod from Thunder Bay, and he was
Oh, yeah.
telling us about Povier. Oh, what an animated guy he
Pierre
was.
Paul.
I'm definitely having Lightning Rod back on as a guest. Everybody loved him. I made a couple of clips from that show. The show of nothing but technical difficulties.
I loved that show, and I loved Lightning Rod, and I wanted
Oh.
to tell him. I was listening to that cut you made. I wanted to add. I had a very similar experience to what he was talking about. I grew
Oh,
up
yeah?
in a similar area, but on the other side of the river. And for
Yeah.
us, the big fun thing to do was to go to Canada
Right.
in Windsor and have a ball. It was
Well,
funny
that's
listening to
cool.
him talk about Detroit and Pontiac like that.
Well, maybe I'll have a group show, bring you guys on again, and this time know how to do it right. You know,
I hope
learn it.
not. It was a ball with the chaos.
Well, yeah,
Do you
Chris
think
Till, I just want to give a shout out to Chris Till in the UK who'll watch this tomorrow. He said, "What would an
Chris?
EC Christmas be like without the technical difficulties? Don't fix it." There you go. I'm
It's
done.
part of the art.
Yeah, well, all right. And I was stoned as fuck. I took my last edible and I was.
Oh, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Nice.
Do you think edibles should be mandatory? Just kidding.
Yes.
Do you think
Sorry.
like do you think there should be automatic voter registration?
I don't think there should
Yes.
be voter registration. The whole concept is bunko.
Why is that?
What do you mean? You
Yeah,
should be
why
able
just
to
vote.
vote without
What is the registration? Are you a citizen? Like, if yes, then vote.
I mean, yeah.
The idea that
Yeah.
you can like I remember in the 2016 primaries, it was like you have to like register to vote 6 months before the election. If you register 5 months, you can't vote in the election. Like that bullshit. Like, come
Right.
on now. Like,
Well, then the rules can be redone, but you got to register. It's a way of being able to keep track of things. I was an election, well, they called it election inspector. I've done it. I've worked the polls, and when you've got to have some checks and balances. Can you
yeah,
imagine?
I mean that's called being a citizen.
Yeah, but the meltdown the right would have if it was even looser.
I think
Fuck's sake.
registration right now, as it currently is, it's just a way for people, another way for people to procrastinate. They don't get to voting because they don't get to registering. And if you would just,
Yep.
whether it should be or not, if you just,
Same day.
hey, you're 18, boom. Or
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, an automatic registration and no registration are essentially the same thing. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're splitting hairs at that point, and I'll
just
take
less
either.
paperwork.
Yeah,
Anti-paperwork.
Do you have to
sure,
be, but like some primaries, and we want people to participate in primaries more, right? Because like,
Yeah.
oh wow, we had more people vote for president. Okay, well, where were they during the goddamn primaries when we needed them, right?
And local
So,
elections.
but don't, and I know every state is different, and that's sort of its own problem, right? But like, don't you have to be registered and affiliated with a party to be able to vote in
Yeah,
a
there's the
primary in certain
open
states?
primary and a closed primary system, and like half the states, one way you can be a Republican and vote for Democrat or whatever, and then the other one you have to like be affiliated with like certain time period. I think New York was like 6 months Democrat registered and affiliated before the primary in 2016. You know,
New York is stupid. We have to. You can't. If I'm registered in a party, I can't vote in the other party's primary. So actually, I think you should be able to vote in whatever primary you want to vote.
you should be able to vote in both.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, you got to vote once, right? But I'm talking about
in the
all
primaries.
this. Yeah, in New York. If I'm a Democratic, if I was registered as a Democrat, I could only vote in the Democratic primary. I can't vote in the Republican primary. I think there should be open primaries and you vote for whoever you want.
Sure, sure, yeah.
If you're an independent, you can't vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary or a Green Party. You know what I'm saying? And plus, we have the duopoly, so that's a whole other friggin' mess.
I prefer to pronounce it duopoly.
Duopoly. Okay. The
Sounds
new
like an anime
pronouncement.
villain.
Duopoly. So how's everybody doing out there in
Yeah, how you doing?
Chatland?
Planet Earth.
Chatland. Oh, well, don't get me started on how planet Earth is doing.
You know,
Is this where we
I
wait?
feel like
Here, you want to pull up the chat response?
I was trying to read why we have to register to vote, and there was no like. Usually, it's like if you Google something, it tells you definitively right away. And I didn't see
Well,
anything right away.
Google,
Got
yeah,
frustrated. It was
Google,
like, well, fuck you then.
yeah, Google, they fucked the whole system. It's no longer a search engine. It's an ad delivery
Right.
mechanism as of this year. So they'll
Right.
just like, oh, you're searching for why we need to register to vote? We'll just give you some other random shit that serves ads better. Don't worry about it. You'll find it on page 12.
But it also comes out now.
Job
It
zero.
says when I do Google search, it says it's using AI.
That doesn't mean anything. It's just these
It doesn't
stupid
mean
fucking
anything.
tech companies. They want to tell their investors, we're using AI. So they plaster it
Yeah.
on the page, even though it doesn't fucking mean anything. It's the same algorithm that they've had
Right.
before.
Right.
I'm a little amped
I've
up
been
tonight,
a-
so.
I've been a fan of Ask Jeeves since it was called Ask Jeeves.
What is it now?
Ask. It's just
Oh, just
ask.com.
Where
Go
where
back
did
to Ask
Jeeves
Jeeves.
go?
I don't know, but I want
That's
my
a
cartoon
brand.
butler back.
Ask is nothing. Ask, you can wipe your ass
Yeah.
with Ask.
I use the
But
Brave
Ask Jeeves, that
browser
was
too.
Jarvis before there was Jarvis. I'm sorry, what was that, Sandy?
No, I use the Brave, and that you can search with Brave if you stick it in. That
Brave
the
search is
Brave.
also fucking garbage.
Well, but Andrea, you turned me on to Brave, and I use that for the shows where I show articles.
It's a good browser,
Your
but
suggestion?
their weird search bullshit that they added. Oh,
Really?
it's hell on earth. It's worse than Google, and that's an accomplishment.
Is Bing still around? Bing Bong? Bing?
I use Bing more
Yeah,
than anything else at this point,
DuckDuckGo.
Oh, do
honestly.
you?
How about
DuckDuckGo is
DuckDuckGo?
solid.
How about Ecosia? Is that a search or is that just a browser? Supposedly, Ecosia is I thought maybe it's a browser or a search engine that donates to environmental
I've heard of this.
causes. Ecosia.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about the
Mhm.
phone book? How about the yellow pages? How about the
I
white
got one.
pages?
I
How about the
got one.
Encyclopedia Britannica? What is wrong with you guys? Read a book.
Yeah, my
got a
dyslexia
phone
ramps up
book.
when the paper is yellow for some reason. Just can't do it.
Oh,
Our phone book is this big. It was so tiny. I'm not in it, but who has a fucking number in the phone book anymore? I don't.
this is insane. Do you know that the yellow pages are still a multi-billion-dollar a year industry? Billion.
Is it just advertising? It's just like
Yes.
one big coupon book.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
they're killing it.
Mm.
I have
Wow.
no
Bob
idea.
Harmony, Stone
Madness.
tablet.
Can you buy stock in the yellow pages? I don't know. Hey,
No
Sandy, you
idea.
know a lot about oceans, right? Do you know what kind of hair oceans have?
Oh my god.
Wavy.
I was kind of gonna get there.
I thought maybe you'd want to use that on your
I might.
show, but
I'll give it to Jim.
don't-
I'll let him use it. He's
you don't
the
have to give
ocean
me
guy.
credit.
Friday night. We have self promotion. Friday night, State of the Planet. Everybody is going to be there on our channel talking about
Oh,
health.
cool. Okay.
We are.
Friday,
That's
right
cool.
on.
Yeah, 9
That's
o'clock
good
p.m.
branding too. State of the planet. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I'm pissed
and
off about
Yeah.
the lack of snow this year.
well,
Like, this is
yeah.
some bullshit.
Yeah.
Colorado just got
Well-
nailed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you
are you
guys-
living
see
in
that?
Colorado? Why are you getting Colorado
No,
weather?
but it's national news. But I that's why I don't live in Colorado. I'm done with the snow, man. I can't do
love
it.
snow.
Yeah, you'll miss it. The
Oof.
snow is going to be, we're going to
No.
be telling the future generations,
What is it
yeah,
here?
this white fluffy water would fall from the sky. It was magic.
Yeah, it's 45.
And there were
here.
people who said, fuck the
Rainy.
snow at the time. They didn't appreciate what they had. And then we're going to roll
You
the
had to
tape.
get up at 4 a.m. and go out in the backyard and shake all the trees and bushes off, or they would die because it's May and it's snowing. It was insane.
I
Yeah,
know.
let
I
'em
live in
die.
Western
No.
New
Charles
York.
Darwin's doing his good job. Fuck
Ugh.
those trees.
Somewhat related. There's a tree in my parents' house. I've been doing a lot of dog sitting lately.
It's in the
and there's
house.
in their yard. And
Wonderful son.
every time I go over there, I walk under that tree to get inside. And after your novella and that talking about the real thing that happened with the eyelid going into the eye, it now gives me the heebies and the jeebies, and I'm angry with you, Matt.
I blinked so hard. I was struck on the head by a branch, blinked so hard, I scratched my cornea. It can
That
happen.
Oh yeah.
is insane to me.
Don't
That-
Speaking of which, the follow-up to that novella begins Friday,
What time?
Ooh.
10 p.m.
Okay, after. Well, hopefully
Now,
we'll.
I'll
be done.
start reading around 10:30 or 11, but yeah, I did kind of a sequel to it.
That's cool.
If
I love
anybody
your
cares
reading.
about that.
I love a good sequel.
We do care.
Yes.
It's you're a good writer. It's great. I was like, really. What was the one character? Was it Larry? Wait,
Jerry Miller.
Jerry. I was so like into Jerry.
He's
Sorry,
back. He's back.
I was so into him. I forgot his name and called him Larry.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. So guys, after
I want the
State of the
format to
Planet,
work.
we go and we listen to Matt read his novella.
Yeah,
What's
and
the
this is just
cutoff for a novel
page one.
versus novella?
50,000
it's-
words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, would you ever think about going for the longest novella world record?
You can't.
Like just
You would
short of
just
a
die,
novel, you
wouldn't
mean?
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
sure
the
that's happening
50,000
already.
or the 49,999, whichever one.
At some point, you just have to commit to a couple extra pages and make it a novel, I think.
No,
But,
I have the lot, like you have on the book like cover advertising longest novella tied world record, They have a
Oh, I
lot of
see.
compound
Yeah.
words, a lot of hyphens,
Just make the last page, if you're close but not there, make like the last page about a writer who decides that they want to write not a novella, but a novel. And,
about
it's
novello?
a self-contained story. A what now?
Yeah. A
A
novello.
novello.
That's funny.
A whole different beast.
Oh.
Matt could be the first one to write novellos.
I don't know.
Sounds like somebody I went to high school with. Jesus. Mini novello.
I'm watching closely how these do, man, because I want this to be a thing that works. I think it's a
Oh.
really good idea, and I like the idea of content that is both free to those who can't afford to pay for it, but can be ad-free if you pay for it. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've always got those
I appreciate
ideas,
that.
Jake.
Oh, I'm fascinated by the age we live in.
It has not been fully explored.
Yeah. You're not
People
the
will-
only person, by the way, who's noticed the potential here with the podcasting feature that was introduced. After looking at your content, I've perused around, and there are other authors who of various ranks, including people who are pretty prolific, who are all like, yeah, this is a way to monetize this, and I can cut out these giant publishers, which in this era don't really do anything aside from promote your novel.
Well, yeah,
just-
and I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm realizing how boring this will be for the audience, but I'm interested in it.
I'm
So
on
Well,
good
pro
on you.
team self-publish. Fuck those publishing companies. The middleman. Who needs a
Yeah.
middleman in the current year?
and what is this? We won't publish it, so now it won't see the light of day. Fuck
Fuck
that.
the light of
No,
day. I'll
it'll
publish
see
it
the-
myself at
That's what I have
midnight.
beef.
Yeah, I'll put it out there. I'll put it right out there. I don't care if some publisher's like, it's not commercially viable for us, and
Well,
we're not
that's why
doing
we
books
have-
about that this year. So
That's why we have all the new Substacks, mediums, all the
Max.
different venues for writing. And you can express
Yeah.
yourself so well. I always want to do it and I never have the time to do it. That's my problem. And I like writing. Although most of my writing during my career was like technical writing, human resource policy writing. How
Yeah.
boring can you get?
Well, it takes that. All right, I'll bore the audience further because I find this interesting enough to do it.
You're not.
I'm always amazed by people that write instruction manuals or technical writing of any sort
Mm-hmm.
in a way that can keep me able to follow it. Because I'm so fickle as a reader of instructions. And if I'm like 2 paragraphs in, I'm like, what what did this person do that I'm actually reading this right now? So I hope you were good.
Well, I lasted 20 plus years, and I made and we were the first campus to have something interactive. We had a CD that was the benefits handbook with all that, and I made it happen on our campus with music. So when you put the CD in and you're reading the policy, you could listen to different kinds of music for different kinds of policies. It was pretty cool. That was before everything went online. You
So then
know,
you ruin those songs for everyone forever. Because
I
then they're gonna
did
associate
not.
the fucking music with the shitty ass instruction booklet or manual or fucking.
No, they were not that shitty ass. People needed to know what the hell to do for their
Okay.
benefits. You know,
Do you guys know Mickey Spillane or any of those old pulp novels? All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Let me
yeah, I
read
mean,
you one sentence from my novel that I work on when I get frustrated with life,
okay.
and you will understand instantly the kind of books I write. Hilaria entered her retirement to learn Amish jiu-jitsu back on Earth.
There's a lot
It's,
you can work with in just
I'm
one
hooked.
sentence.
I'm
Hilaria.
hooked.
That's pretty good.
I'm hooked.
Hilaria.
Yeah, named after C.C. H. Pounder. The H is Hilaria, and I think that's a rad name.
Do you know what they call? No, I'm not gonna bring it up. It's not.
It's
No,
too
it's
late.
not
You already
even a
brought it up.
dad joke. It's a real. Do you know what they call dollar stores in the UK? I'm not kidding.
Oh, if you're not kidding,
It's
then
real.
I will toss out some goofy answers. How about
Pound
Pound
It's 100
Town?
That's
Pound
what
Town?
it is. Pound Town.
Yeah, that's good.
Really?
Yeah.
They say I'm going to
Yeah.
take you to Pound Town?
Yeah,
This
it's
fucking
I gotta pop into Pound Town and make
And
a
is
And
everything
purchase.
made
I
in-
Pound Town
can't
the other
believe
night,
Is
it.
but-
everything made in China, in Pound Town, like in the United States?
Probably, yeah.
probably.
I love when everybody complains about China and then they're all at the dollar store and every piece
Yeah.
of shit thing they buy is from China, but they're all bitching about it. I'm like, look at everything in your house,
Oh.
dude.
We got folks in the UK saying that's not true.
Aw, who says such?
I mean, I don't know if people realize
my
this,
heart.
but Americans do not lie. Okay, they rarely misspeak even. So
And if
sure.
it happens,
And I'm
you
usually-
better wish you caught it on camera because it's a miracle, really.
Yeah,
It's like
we're so
spirit
Americans
photography,
are-
you know.
yeah, I mean, Americans are generally correct about everything they say, even if it was wrong. As soon as an American says it, it's now not wrong anymore. So
Cuts to the entire population of Chile.
it's Poundland or hold on,
Oh,
like this is
oh,
any better.
Poundland. Oh, thank you.
Going on down to
Poundland.
Poundland, everybody.
Poundland. Only it would Poundland. I don't know. My accents aren't that great.
I'm gonna keep making Americans believe it's Pound Town.
Busted.
Yes, that's.
I
the
saw one.
funnier
I saw a
one.
picture of a storefront that said that. Maybe
a good
they
brand.
were making a joke out of it. I don't. Maybe
It was AI lying to you.
no. It was before. Well, I don't know if it was before
Ooh.
AI. We don't know. AI's probably been around since the '60s. Think about it.
Well, my eyes have been.
Wait, what's been around since the 60s?
No, I'm saying AI. You know how they say, oh,
I
the CIA had cell phones in the '70s. or
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So
Like my dad works at Sony. I have the PlayStation 17 bit. Yeah,
okay.
it was.
I-
just
the
people in
segue. Segue to
Andrea-
games.
please, for God's sake.
No.
Andrea and I played a video game last week.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
that was pretty good.
And then I'm like messaging her on Discord, like, I'm stuck on this level. What do I do? Right? Like,
Did you
now
finish
I'm
it,
still
by the
playing
way?
the
I
game.
knew you'd get to games.
I got to a point where I felt complete. I was like, I'm good. I've played enough of this. It's fun. I used the cheat code at one point where I was just like practicing, like with the shotgun, you can kill multiple people at one time. So I was like just going around for an hour trying to do that. And so then just this week, I found myself, I was like, how much is a PS whatever 5 or I just started looking it up.
I'm gonna
I
steer
never
you
looked into
away
that
from the
before.
PS5. I'm steering
Well,
you.
yeah,
I'm
people were
taking the
talking about
wheel.
Xboxes, all
Nope.
kinds of stuff. I don't know.
All you
What
need is a computer that runs the Windows or Linux operating system. That's what you need.
nah,
This whole Apple experiment, you're not in college anymore, buddy. Okay, it's time to move on. It's time
I'm
to solidify your
Apple.
taste on things. That's my
Oh
professional
boy,
recommendation.
I'm Apple.
Is she gonna
Well, I
steal
think
Strackbein or?
Pound Town. I think
Oh,
what
I'm an
I
actual.
think what I'm
Oh, you're not.
I think what I want to do is get a game like Grand Theft Auto where it's not a level. Like I love playing Doom 2.
Yes.
That's really fun trying to figure stuff out. But I want to play a
Fallout
game
New
where I can
Vegas.
just like
Fallout New
be
Vegas.
around and
Yes.
create chaos. Oh, that's what I should get.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
How
I
about
can just
somebody
explore
design
the world without
Yep.
people trying to get me.
Well, I mean, they might
It's
get
so
you,
good.
but
I'm looking for the extinction game. Replicating real life.
Oh, jeez.
that's coming.
In New Vegas, you have the very realistic option of turning and
Uh.
fleeing, and I love that so much in the game. Some of my best experiences have been sprinting away from sci-fi horrors bravely to the next objective. It's a fantastic video game.
Running is underrated. That's one thing many people don't know. Sometimes you got to run. I've run before,
And it just like
in life and in video games. I've often
Sure.
run and ran.
And it
in
makes
plastic.
sense. You have a like monstrosity running across the desert with its claws
Flying
out
even?
trying to get you. Yeah. Why? Like I can't. What are you gonna? Are you there to like prove something to the monster? No, you scram. Sorry, we're on a tangent.
Somebody
Oh, it only
somebody
took you
suggested
26 minutes to get into games? No, 24 minutes to get
well
into games.
somebody on Discord suggested that we talk about violence in video games, and every time that comes up it makes me think of the bad faith arguments about it, about how it's affecting society and those shoot 'em up games is what's wrong with real life violence. And is
I
there
don't know.
any truth to that? Or
Well, there's been studies, but I can't quote them because I wasn't ready for that, or I would have brought
I
it
mean,
in. But I don't
I'll
know.
just say it gives me nightmares. Like I had weird dreams after playing Doom for 4 hours one day. And I'd like not 4 hours straight even, but like just periodically be like, "Oh, it's still up." Just play. And then, that night I had like really weird dreams about it.
I think that's underappreciated. When people talk back when I was a wee lad and this violence in video games thing first came up a lot. It was all from people who obviously didn't play video games. And the thing that made me crazy about it is that if you do play the games, you have experiences like that. And it's not this thing where it makes you think like, "Oh, I want the best part of that video game to happen in my life. Slaughtering, yada yada." No, no, no. The first thing you realize as a video game player is that anytime you play a new game, you lose a bunch before you win. And in real life, that is death. So you don't get to become really good at having gun battles. You just get shot in the chest and die. So like if you've played, for example, you've just played Doom. If you were playing that in the 90s, people would say like, "Oh, it's going to turn you into a killer." No, it's going to turn you into someone who has an appreciation for how dangerous all this stuff is. My thoughts.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
true.
always one that thought maybe that some of it, there was some kind of real life aspect to oversaturation of violence that was on that you see on TV, but and games.
Sure.
But I have, again, I don't have the statistics that have
It's a
been
chicken or the
studied,
egg
so
situation, right? Like,
yeah.
what is causing the violence? Is it the video games that cause the violence, or is it the violence that people experience in their everyday lives and their childhoods, and like the world around them in the news,
Yeah.
and like their parents beating them, or like bullies at school that that makes them experience like violence, And that's been around a lot longer than video games.
Yep.
Like Doom came out 30 years ago. Like, people have been killing each other for longer than 30 years. So,
Yeah, I'd say so. Andrea, that was pretty astute.
but
Sandy,
also on the studies, all the studies have said violence in video games does not have any caused effect in children and their like behavior. Now playing video games, and being addicted to a video game can change a child's behavior, but the violence, like people being addicted to like Minecraft, which is not really that violent, or like, like The Sims is like it. The addiction aspect is what causes issues, not the violence.
That
and
makes
then the
sense, actually.
question then becoming, what is the cause of the addiction to begin with? Why are you diving into that addiction to escape from? And whatever that is likely going to be related as well, and it's going to be different for every person who overindulges in escapism. I'll say there's certainly something to be said for Sandy's point of the general oversaturation of just presenting violence as a means of problem solving. And then there's a separate conversation about why do so many people have problems that they can't seem to solve, and then they turn to violence as presumably a last resort. I don't know. But I love Doctor Who for that reason. I prefer Rick and Morty, even though it's incredibly saturated with it. But I love Doctor Who because it's an adventure about somebody who abhors violence and often tries to find ways around it. I think that's we need more of that and less James Bonds. Even though I love James Bond movies.
Do you guys think violence is inherently human?
Yes. Well, no. It's inherently living creature. What do you guys think?
Well,
I think
that
there's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll let Matt go first because I'll go forever.
I was going to say, I think that there are a lot of things that humans do that can be attributed to an act of survival. Lying, which is negative, but I think that kids do it as a form of survival, like defense mechanism.
Yeah, you have to
I
learn to
think
lie
that,
so that your parents don't
yeah.
beat the shit out of you if you say the wrong thing. So,
Well, but I think like you might lie just to appear whatever you think intelligence is, right? Like to look smart or whatever, or to, oh, I've achieved that. Sure, whatever the achievement is that you think is special or worthy or gives you a different standard. And there's all these things in society, and just being a human in general, I think can be attributed to just survival mechanism. And I think violence is that. I think like, isn't it funny how no one teaches you how to laugh or cry? You just do it. And then as you get older, you look at those as like laughing is a fun thing, but it can be inappropriate. Okay, well, it's not often voluntary. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? Like when I first laughed, I didn't have any judgment associated with it. I was an infant. Something made me
It's
giggle.
like
What is that?
it's
But like
semi-voluntary
crying.
communication.
Yeah, and so I just think like, having like a violent reaction, like swatting at a fly, that's violence, right? But I mean, planning it and going out of your way, that's not violence. That's something that's a lot different. Like premeditation is I when I first learned what that was in my life, I was like, okay, that's different.
it's
This
a whole
isn't
different
like,
beast.
it's not like, hey man, you just pissed me off and now we're gonna fight, or you shouldn't have done that. You crossed the line, right? Or like you push my buttons. Like when it's premeditated and people have like really taken time and sat with it and do it anyway, that goes well beyond just violence. And that's not a survival mechanism anymore. That's something totally different.
Just watch Dr. Grandy. You'll learn it all.
But I don't
Oh.
think video games do that.
Yeah, like video games are just fun. It's like in the same way, like did violence in books cause people to act more
Right.
violently because they learned it in a book? I don't think so. But I think like all humans, I feel like there's two, and this may be a little bit too off topic, but I think that most humans have like two kinds of species within them, right? You got like what our biology is, the Homo sapien, but then you have like the aspirational goals of like what being a human should be, right? And I think like violence is like firmly in like the first category, right? Like I feel like one of the first things any civilized species would do is to stop being violent. That's why I don't necessarily think we live in a civilization. We don't have clean food, we don't have clean water, we don't have clean air. We all beat the shit out of each other. That's not civilization. Where's the civilization here? Right? So that's my opinion.
I'm at an interesting place with violence in general, and I'd be curious to know what you guys feel about this. I hope that we genuinely start thinking the way you guys are talking, where wars become something that are simply a ludicrous suggestion that nobody takes seriously. But I don't want to live in a first of all, I just don't want to live in a civilization where violence is not consenting violence is not an option for people. And two, I don't think humanity should cut that out of ourselves entirely. I think we should try to preserve whatever that instinct is that makes little kids wrestle with each other.
Well, I wouldn't say that that's
continue to hone
violence.
it.
Yeah, like what you said, consensual is
Combat.
a big part, you know? Yeah, like you can
Literally,
spar
yeah.
with your buddy, or like, I mean, you could say playing tag is a form of violence, you know? You're touching someone else. Sometimes, you know, you're
Yeah.
running at top
Yeah.
speed, you bump into them. Yeah, like I think that there's a difference between violence that's not consensual, right? Which is like, that's obviously bad, versus just like having a fun time with the buddies.
Yeah, that's I mean
Have-
assault. That's what we got to get rid of. But the violence and imagine, Matt was going to say
Ow.
something probably deeper, but I was just going to say like I'd hate to give up our fangs and then find us needing them one day.
I've been watching a bunch of movies over the holiday, and I saw 2 that I was like, okay, 2 out of 12 good movies, which is saying something. But one was
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Oppenheimer. Have you seen that?
Not yet.
Not yet. My daughter did.
So one of the
Yeah.
things that
Did you like- I'm sorry.
that they don't talk about a lot is the notion that if we just make this bomb, we can end war forever.
Yeah. Bigger the
And I was
better. We
like,
can end it.
I laughed out loud when they said that. They were like,
Yeah.
you did it. We're gonna end war. No one's gonna fight after this. War's over. And I was like, wow. I was like, that didn't work out. Like that immediately didn't work out. And I guess there was a character saying, no, we need a bigger bomb and get them to make the bigger bomb. And this is all a matter of history, so it's not really spoilers, but like the movie brought up more than once. We're ending war. And I
Yeah,
was
sure.
like, wow, is that really?
We sure did.
I would recommend watching like the real guy, Robert Oppenheimer's like interviews like in the last couple years of his life, because he did a lot of
read it.
interesting interviews like in the last like 5 to 10 years of his life, where he like really wrestled with that concept, and how basically like everyone in the room was just like lying to them on purpose to like, and giving them like false senses of hope to like, oh, what you're doing
Yeah.
is actually really cool and not the worst thing in the world, you know?
I was going to
And
say,
like, yeah,
that
he had
sounds-
that deep gnawing, like, what if it doesn't work,
Knew it.
that he just like shoved down, you know?
Mm.
Yeah,
that
and it was
sounds
like,
the
if
kind of thing the government would say to get a scientist to create a bomb of that scale. Like, no, this is going to end war. Don't worry. We won't use
and
it
they
for
said
other things.
Hitler's doing it, so we got to beat him, right? Because he'll use it for bad stuff, and if we beat him, then he'll go, oh, they win, and since we're the good guys, we won't actually use it.
But we
And then they're
used
like,
it.
but if we do use it, then it'll be a show of force, and people will know that they shouldn't mess with, and then it'll end war. And it's like, you aren't getting it at all. So anyway, you never know how much, like, the whole time I was watching the movie. Yeah, I'm not one of these guys that watches a movie and goes like, oh, they convinced me. This is how reality was. I don't do that. And so I just stay open to the fact that it's somebody's adaptation or interpretation or whatever, and there's always some point of view, and I don't care. I'm just,
Mhm.
I know it's history, but I'm there to be entertained. It's a movie. But But I thought it was really well done, and I just remember that part where it made me feel like I wanted to be a time traveler and go back to that room and hear them say that so I could just go, "Ah, you idiots. You can't be this intelligent and this naive." And then I was reading this comic book it's a graphic novel adapted from an opera that was written in a Czechoslovakian Nazi concentration camp in 1940. And they allowed this camp to have culture and arts because the Nazis used it as propaganda and said, "See, it's not so bad what we're doing here." And the sad truth is a lot of that art outlived the people who made it. And so they recently just they're releasing the graphic novel later this year, and I'm interviewing the author next week. And
Ooh,
so
cool.
yeah, and this guy's a fascinating journalist anyway. So this is going to be cool. But in the concept of the story is that there is, and these guys, we didn't learn about what went on in World War II till after, years later, when it all came out. So if you were in a camp, it's not like you had this idea of what was going on outside. So they wrote this story about a fictional fascist ruler, and he was never satisfied with the amount of people that there were to take out. He wanted to just lay waste to the world. And he gets to the point where they're like, "No, everyone's gone. You did it." And he's like, "Okay, we have to make up the fact that there are still people out there so we can keep the war going forever." And I was like,
It
that
sounds like
really
reality.
they nailed it. I was like, that's sort of
Mm-hmm.
okay. We haven't wiped everyone out, but if you look at some of the places that war, quote unquote war, has taken place, it's changed forever. There might as well not be anything left. But in this story, Death has a labor strike. Death is like, "Oh, I'm not processing these deaths. No way." And so then they end up with zombies walking the earth. That was the
That's
opera.
pretty
That
good.
was the original story. So like Death goes on strike, and then and everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna get weird." It's so creative. It's a remarkable work of art, and I don't want to give anything away because everyone should read it. But
Right.
I'm so excited to talk to this guy. But it was fascinating to read that after wrestling with the fact that these guys could have possibly been so naive to think that making the bomb was going to end war forever, and then to read this thing where it's like that's what actually happened because here in America, we're trying to make the bomb to end war. Meanwhile, the Nazis did have concentration camps, and people from within that camp in real life were making a story about the fact that there was a fascist ruler who was never going to be satisfied ever with the amount of war he could wage. I thought it's profound.
Makes you wonder why they don't just start with like a Cold War against a fictional enemy. If they understand that the point is just to pretend like you have an enemy to distract the people that you need to distract, that's the part that always bums me out. Like you could spare it's cheaper too. You could spare the actual and again, I suppose you don't become a dictator if you're a person that cares about human life or any
I
life.
mean, just think of it in like, wouldn't you want more people in your empire to like rule over?
Yes. Yes. And if you know that you're just telling people nonsense, then you also know that your low opinion of the people that you're having a low opinion of is also based on nonsense. So just, I mean, you want the cool stuff they're going to make, don't you? You want all that? I don't know.
I mean,
Sorry,
I
gang.
personally
I got a
think.
load disk space error
Oh, really?
that I'm dealing with. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
I personally think that you can't be a billionaire without casualties. I have no evidence of that, but
Yeah.
I think that there has to be a ripple effect somewhere along the line where lives were sacrificed in order for you to make that much money. There's no way you can convince me it didn't happen.
In the
And so
factories.
Right. And so when they say war is just, money making, right? It's just keeping the military industrial complex afloat, and it's getting everyone's banking off it, right? When they say that, I'm like, you don't even have to. I mean, if you truly value life, you wouldn't be a billionaire, right?
Right.
Much less join the military industrial complex or be in Congress. These assholes that are like, how much does the Pentagon want? Double it. Yeah, I'll give them more. Well, we didn't ask for that. Yeah, it's okay, but we always do really bad audits. That's fine. No, I mean, we don't know where the money goes. We don't care.
That's really that
Yeah,
part right there, the
crazy.
audits,
That's insane.
pisses me off. As I was a federal contractor, and for the littlest things, we got nailed for timesheets, and these freaking assholes can't find what, billions of dollars? Or was it billions? How much can't they find? Or is it just conveniently they can't find it and it's covered up?
No, they
Covered
just
up.
don't. They don't spend any of the money on bookkeeping. Why?
Jeez.
That's not what they're there for. Accounting?
We had teams of auditors come in once a year. Once a year. And it made us crazy. But the Pentagon, no, nothing. It's sickening. That annoys me, pisses me off. But I suppose nobody's going to rise up and protest against Pentagon audits. I haven't seen it.
I'm doing this is new for me. I don't normally use my channel. Every now and then I'll go off on a tangent here, but I don't typically use my channel to say, here's what I think, and do any kind of a commentary. I hope that
Let's hear
comes
it.
through like in my interviews, but I'm going to do an end of the year thing. I wrote it. I wrote it and it was like,
Good.
here's what I think the most important things that I have gleaned from the interviews I've done and all the answers and discussions I've had.
Good.
I mean, it's been a lot this year. And
I
so
Don't
I'm gonna
Care
write
for
it.
Arabs by Matt Strackbein.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna let it all out. No,
Oh,
it's
no.
it's
I like the idea for you, Matt.
I don't think it would be anything that would surprise anybody, but I'm gonna do it as a live stream Monday night after my premiere video interview with Brittany Page. So it'll be January 1st. So it'll be like, here's what I got from 2023. So as of right now, on the first day of the next year, this is what I think about this stuff. And I thought it'd be interesting to get it on the record and see where I'm at with it next year.
Yes.
Like if
A
I feel the same,
post-mortem
right?
of the year. Post-mortem
Yeah, and
of
it's
the
going to be,
year.
it kind of ends with like, what for me, like it's all kind of silly to sit there and be like, here's what the Letterhack thinks about it. But like at the end, I have sort of what I think is a provocative declaration. And then I think that by the end of 2024, people would be like, either like he was wrong or that fucker was right. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not trying to make a prediction. I'm just making a statement that I believe is true.
Right.
And I think that
Right.
I think the further along the American experiment goes, the more people will realize, like, yeah, there's some truth there. So anyway, I'm sort of nervous about it because I do hot takes sometimes in my live members only live streams, but I like
And
keep
everyone throws
saying,
tomatoes at you. It's like, boo.
I just like keep saying this is a hot take. It's just my hot take. This is only a hot take. It's not whatever. Like I'm real nervous about saying things like opinionated, I guess.
Okay.
I just don't want to be
I think
another
that's
person.
normal.
There's so many people doing
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I
I'm
think-
not, but we present information and I don't tell people how to think. We just give them the information and guide them to whatever their feeling is out of what we tell them, that's out there. That's published research or whatever. But I guess I don't tell people how to think. I don't want to manipulate minds because they're already manipulated enough.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. And Sandy, I like your style, but I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think. I wouldn't want it to be the whole show, but yeah, I
Well,
like your
Well, you
your
can
hot
hear
take.
it from last night, but it was what I thought about mouse turds and leaking propane.
Fair
but you know
enough.
what's really interesting? Yeah, what's fascinating is people know where I'm coming from. People know what I generally believe in. They know what you generally believe in, Sandy, right? People get it. It's the content you
Yeah.
provide and the people you platform
Right.
that,
Right.
I don't co-sign everything that my guests believe or say, and mainly because that's just what they're saying today. Who knows what they're going to say tomorrow or down the road? But I think you get an idea of where I'm coming from. I don't have to spell it out. I don't have to be one of these people that's like, you guys, no, listen, this is how it is because I said. Like, I hate being that person. I hate being that person, but I do like that there are people like that out there.
I like
Yeah,
when
I'm not
Andrea spells
exactly
it
a
out.
sphinx on my channel.
Well, I enjoy Andrea spelling it out.
I
Definitely.
don't know how to spell.
But I do. I learned from you. Whether you want to take that as a compliment or whatever.
I try my
do.
best.
Yeah, you do. You do. Good job.
There was an apple racing an orange. Do you know why the orange lost?
Wait, I know this
No.
one. The
Gosh,
because the orange
Ran out of juice.
Weir.
Fair
but
enough.
both of them have juice.
Yeah, but the orange ran out.
Oh shit.
But you
Um,
could tell the
Ran out of
story.
juice.
But the joke isn't about the orange. The joke is about fruit. So you could switch the fruit.
Now, see,
Do
I
you
saw
know-
a
hey-
similar situation
But
where
it
the
would be-
apple lost.
Like the
Couldn't
apple
peel
would
out.
lose
Right.
easier because it's not a spherical object. So the orange,
Wow.
the ordering of this wouldn't.
This segment
That's
where
right.
we break down dad jokes and really dissect them and analyze.
Yes.
I don't know
I'm
if
The
that
gonna
should
apple
be
throw
has
an
a
L.
core
segment.
and it throws the weight off, and the orange doesn't have the same kind of core, so it rolls differently. You know, it's like flying an airplane. How you have to make sure that your altimeter is showing you that you are not looking at the fake horizon.
The apple engaged its core. That's awesome. That is awesome. Do you know? Oh, but Sarah, I was thinking about this earlier because we were talking about like classic literature and stuff. Do you know like I recently heard? Do you know why Peter Pan is always flying?
We're gonna
No,
know.
why?
Because he never lands.
Never lands. Oh boy.
I know.
Where are your sound effects when we need them?
It's
can't hear
dry humor
mine.
does not require sound effects.
Oh, I love sound effects, but I never play the right ones at the right time.
It's a skill in its own.
Oh shit.
I
The
love
apple
I
is
love
red,
the,
red is
yeah.
conducts energy.
I-
Thank you, Mooney
I
Reel.
love the debate on why an apple should beat in or that's awesome.
No, an orange should beat an apple because it's spherical, so it can gain more better momentum.
Right.
Whereas the apple is going to eventually, it's eventually going to hit the part where it's like flat, and that's going to either cut the momentum, it's going to like start rolling in a zigzag somewhere out of the race boundaries, or it's just going to hit a stop altogether.
Yep. My
It's not
understanding
really
is it didn't even
physically
make it very
possible
far from
for
the
an
tree.
apple to beat an orange. This is bullshit story.
No, it has
Yeah,
a stem.
that's a good one.
This is fucking bullshit.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, wait, Jake. It looks like you got something on the.
I always start talking when you're talking. I hate it. I want to hear what you have to say. Please.
I have nothing to say. I'm listening.
What? All right, fair enough. I'll say this. I like coming in with complaints. I have complaints for Sandy.
no.
It's so difficult to draw you as a character. It is so difficult because you have many wonderful outfits.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
there's
a
not like
consumer.
You don't have that
got-
horrible depression that makes you
Gotta
wear
do
the
like
same
the,
shape all the time.
Well, I've got 40 years of fucking clothes I've collected
Fair
and
enough.
haven't
Fair
given
enough.
them away. Although, Andrea, I have some nice things, which I always tell I want to send her. Oh, geez. Like the grandma here. And not farty old clothes either. Bye, Andrea.
No, you're very stylish, and in fact, I when I drew you in a recent thing, I ripped off the new DC Poison Ivy to get your vibe.
The what?
Poison Ivy.
I agree with
a
Sandy.
villain.
What?
You guys don't know
Okay.
Poison Ivy,
Batman?
the Batman
Well,
I know
villain?
about Poison Oak.
Oh.
Yikes. Am I right,
jeez.
people?
It's a good look. She's got a hip green jacket. It felt, yeah.
I probably have a hip green jacket if I look
Po-
at all the crap.
Poison Ivy
Matt, you're
put-
the Dazzler
put-
in this thing that I drew.
Okay.
The Dazzler?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah,
It
shit.
works. It works.
Does it make my hair look grayer?
No, it looks red. I mixed
stop.
for all of you guys. I mixed you with a pro wrestling character and a superhero or villain because I used to work with a guy named Corey who was an amateur wrestler trying to go pro, and all of his outfits were superhero inspired. Fun
Okay, I
little
can't
fact.
wait to
Am I a
see.
superhero?
Yes.
To me.
Who did I? Oh no, I'm sorry. With you, I just ripped off China from WWE because she has a really cool outfit.
Oh,
The country?
I actually know her. I remember.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Not
awesome.
in person. I mean,
But you
know
know
I
who I'm talking about. That's,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's
The
got
country?
the jewelry.
You don't want to rip off China. They got nukes.
They've been trying to find me for years.
Ooh, Jake,
Is that why
be
you're
careful.
doing this green screen? You're broadcasting from an unknown bunker 17 miles underground, you know?
Exactly.
Hey, Bunker.
the
I
void.
did that show last week. Bunker Babies. That
Oh,
was
nice.
actually fun. Holy crap. These people are nuts. So tell me something then. Bringing up bunkers. Would any of you want your own personal bunker?
I want 7.
Okay, why 7?
Well, because if I get bored of the first 6, I'm going to need another one. And then from that point, you can just rotate back to the first one, you know? Your body
I like this.
regenerates
Yeah,
all
that's
the
if you can
cells
get
every
out of
7
it.
years. Every year, I move to a new bunker, and then I start the cycle again. I'm a new person, new cells. I'm back in, you know?
Yeah, but you'd have to
Dude.
go underground if there was nuclear fallout.
Oh, I'm underground.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
That fact messed with me so much. The fact that your body goes through all the cells like that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's exactly 7. That's what I read. But I mean, like, each body is different. If you eat like shit, it probably does it even faster because when you eat like shit, you age really fast. So, like, you can be like 30 with the body of a 40-year-old. So it accelerates your cellular, whatever.
Well, I guess I'm doing a
Mitosis? Is that the
I
one?
don't know how I'm supposed to be emperor of our post-apocalyptic world if I'm in a bunker.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's the thing.
So-
You hide out in the bunker while everyone's out there eating each other like a bunch of fucking freaks. And then you come in, you got your suit, you got your tie, you got your little fucking gadgets and your gizmos, you got a book. You ever see like Book of Eli? Like, books are important, like you got to bring your book around, you tell people about the book and you show them about like, a little capsule, food pops out and then they go like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, boom, you control that shit.
He was
Actually,
looking
this-
for the Bible, wasn't he? I found that
Yeah,
to
well,
just
I
be
mean-
like they just took all the air out of the story. When
Well,
they
they're trying to
revealed he was-
appeal to the lowest common
was like,
demographic,
oh.
think about like what, they're trying to advertise it to people that aren't normally, they're getting to the end. They're like, what am I watching this for? Oh, it's the Bible. Praise Jesus. And then they move on and tell people how great it is,
You guys just
No, but
gave
it
me an
would-
idea, though, actually, for me. If I'm going to write, I think I'm going to write a post-bunker story. Because everybody writes about, okay, getting to the bunker, But then do they write about what's happening after the bunker?
You
In
got to
the
play the
bunker.
Fallout New Vegas
Ooh.
because that's
Oh,
the whole
really?
game is about
Oh.
after the
Oh,
bunkers.
Andrea, how
So
am I
like
ever
chapter
gonna
1 is
Poor
like
Sandy.
apprehension opening the door, right? Like
do
chapter
Oh, yeah.
1's all about like, do we open this door? What's gonna happen?
Well, that's not chapter 1. That's book 1, book 2, and book 3. That's the first trilogy of books.
Let-
And
Bunker
the second
Bible.
trilogy is when they actually open the goddamn door. Well, they open it at the end of book 3, right? And then it's like cliffhanger, M dash, it's over, bye bye. Gotta wait till next year.
I really do think that writing and storytelling is great, like
Yeah, it is.
creative cross training, and it really does help you process a lot of like random thoughts you have. When you put stuff on paper and you try
Yeah.
and organize it, and you put you turn your thoughts into someone else's dialogue, and you try to write like somebody else and not just yourself saying something. I think that's a great exercise. I think everybody should be doing that. Like how people say, "Oh, I can't draw." That doesn't mean that you shouldn't draw.
Well,
I
people
It's
are
fun as
very
hell.
quick to like create comfortable identitarian features about themselves. Like, oh, I can't draw, so that they never need to try again. They just
Right.
can't do it. They just close the door to that entire realm of possibility.
I used to draw, and I did pen and ink, and I don't know if you guys know what a rapidograph pen is. Well, it's a pen with needle points and ink, and I used to do a lot of that. And I remember that when my father, especially my bio dad, used to say, "Oh, she's such a great artist." Well, then I stopped. I don't know why.
Oh,
I didn't believe him. So I stopped, and I love drawing. I did a lot of creative shit, but I somewhere along the line I stopped until video editing,
yeah.
which I wanna take
That's.
the next step.
Yeah, you
Do
got to
you
bring it back.
feel like you have to be good at something to enjoy it long term? Like if you know you're never going to get excellent at it, you know you'll never achieve mastery or anything close to it, can you still enjoy it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not a good I mean, some of my videos are shitty, but I still enjoy it. I love the process. I want to do more with it. I want to create more with it than I do now. I don't want to always be editing and taking other clips from others. I want to make them,
Yeah.
but it's not easy for me. Nothing's easy for me, but I want to do that. That's my next step for 2024.
Well,
I'm
it's
trying not to
more
s-
fun, like no one really cares. Like, oh, big whoop, you climbed the mountain. Like the climb is always more fun than being on top of the mountain, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's
like, yeah,
getting
and
there.
that's why I like to think of like mastery does not even exist. Like the master is still waiting to be discovered by future archaeologists, right? Like, what we're dealing with now when it comes to mastery of any skill is just like, intermediate level in the grand scheme of things, right? So it's like
That's such a good point.
I also like view art as in a similar archaeological sense where it's like people are discovering new ways to do things like music, like people aren't
Music.
creating a good riff. They're uncovering the combinations that create good melodies and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I like to
That's
view it
so
that way.
true.
Music is I think music is the best thing about humanity. It's
It's pretty
music.
good.
I do.
I mean, they always say, like, if you love it, you would do it whether anyone saw it or not. And to me, that trumps ability, right?
Yeah,
It's
because
like
ability doesn't matter.
you would write stories whether anyone read them or not. You would draw pictures and make comics whether anyone saw them or not. And that
It
means
feels
that
good.
you love it. Yeah. And that's what I was getting at is it's therapeutic. It's a way to process stuff. They say write what you know. Well, okay, write what you think. Write your
Hmm.
I don't I'm maybe articulating this out loud for the first time. So forgive me, but I think that
We
it's
forgive.
Should
important.
have wrote it
I
down
think
first.
right. You know how There's a form of therapy where you write things down that you want to purge and then you crumble it up and throw it away, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a waste of paper. I say create a character
Agreed.
who says that kind of stuff and then put him in an
Oh.
environment where people disagree or agree or whatever, or there's consequences. I say get it out that way. Make it a story. Do some storytelling because our whole world is storytelling. The way we're taught history is through this
Mm-hmm.
one time there was this guy and guess what he did, and it's like you're just telling a story. Like if you were giving me history as just a list of facts, that might be kind of boring. But if it's like, no, look, guys, everyone woke up one day and this happened, and it's like, why are you telling me a story? So like there's always been a fire to sit around. There's always been a fireplace to sit around. There's always, now there's a
Yeah.
YouTube, right? And there's just everything is storytelling. And so I think that if you practice storytelling, whether anyone's going to read it or not, then you can process a lot of stuff. That's what
I
I think.
agree.
And writing it
That
down and throwing it away
100%.
is a waste.
I would even say 112%. It's that good.
Now you know it's true.
I like this.
Storytelling,
You're
man.
getting
It's
me,
fun.
You're getting this creative mind going here.
Well, but here's the thing, though. If you are going to share it with people, you have to be open to criticism. Just do
Oh,
it.
you know what? I'm open to criticism. I mean, it is what it is. People can criticize me, and I learn from it. You got to have a thick skin in this business,
Yeah, I got
Shit.
a reply from an editor one time. I should out this guy. But
Fuck that guy.
I sent something in and the reply, it was like an email reply in like less than 60 minutes. It just said no.
Whoa.
Oh,
And I was like, okay.
I hate unconstructive
That was a human?
criticism.
A
Like,
humanoid?
I thought
people
maybe
are just
like
nah.
I thought he was gonna follow up with, hey, I hit send too soon. Sorry. Like I was gonna write
Damn.
not enough of whatever, but I didn't get anything back. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Well,
I gotta say though,
I'm not gonna take your word for it.
fuck that guy twice at the same
I can
time.
appreciate the fact that they are being the baseline. It's nice of somebody to give you feedback and be like, we're not going to go with this, and here's why. That's like polite. But the thing that makes it polite is that there is no obligation. It's an extra thing they do in the hopes that your life goes better because of yada yada yada. But at least if the person's gonna be the villainous type, they're not giving you one of those like 2-paragraph things where like after reviewing your blah 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 and making you read.
That's true. I'd prefer
Say
no
no.
than like we carefully reviewed this with our team of experts and concluded that
Get
no.
out of here.
Whoa.
Well, okay.
I'm
So
angry at my
Jake,
wife. I'm hungover and I don't want to hire anybody. No is the answer.
so Jake, look at it this way. Sometimes they just send out a form letter. And I'm
Yeah,
like, don't do
I hate
that.
those.
Other times they don't say anything. And I'm like, at least they didn't send a form letter. If you're just gonna say no, it's a dick move.
Yeah,
Now
form
look,
letter is
Was it
like
the and
it's like being
capitalized?
anonymous on the internet. A form letter, anonymity.
one time a
just
guy one time an
yuck.
editor went on and on and on about how you're never going to be this guy, you're never going to be that guy, you're never going to work on this book, you never work on this book. I just don't think that your art is going anywhere. I don't think it will go anywhere. And I thought to myself, at
What
the
an
moment,
asshole.
and I
Sorry.
thought to myself, like, in this moment,
Jerk.
I'm getting paid to
Yeah.
make comics for one, right? I was making educational comics. I was art directing, writing, drawing, inking,
Yeah.
coloring, lettering, doing the
Oh,
production, logo design. I was doing all of this, and I was getting paid like a living
Wow.
wage. So I was like, well, he's wrong. And two, I had a 6-figure salary at a job that I was literally the only person to ever do this work without a degree.
hmm
So so
Wow.
you can
yeah.
go
Well,
Well,
fuck
that's
I
just
think
yourself.
like
that's
And
someone
I'm not sweating it.
projecting that they want to be famous and they just assume that everyone wants to be famous. When sometimes all you want is just to get paid to do the thing you like, and that's it.
But that was
I was
not
good to
constructive
have,
at all.
Yeah.
but it helped
My
me.
God.
It
Asshole.
it gave me a chance to get really upset about something that wasn't worth getting upset about. Like it helped me
Okay.
learn there will be feedback
Not
not worth being upset about, because
right.
it is an
Yeah.
exercise in rejection and accepting rejection and being able to like bounce back. And if they said, "Hey Matt, it's really good except for this," and then I rework it and show it to them with their feedback, then
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh shit, this guy's willing to redo his work." Right? He's not so
Try
attached to it,
teaching.
or
Yeah,
yeah.
try
Well, but
teaching that to
I don't know what
people.
that
Try
goes.
teaching people how to do proper performance evaluations where you don't undermine the self-esteem of your employees because you're a complete fucking moron. I trained that and tried to make people do that. It's hard. People sometimes people do want to just undermine or make others feel terrible without
but
really even looking.
do you think we need the occasional jerk in our lives to help us have like a
Yes.
Well, the
that
occasional, but not consistently. No.
well, I
I
mean,
think
the
even if we
barrage
try our
is
darndest
yeah.
to get rid of them, we'll still have them. But yes, I think I'm of the belief that the kid glove version of negative experiences are good to have around, because it keeps everything in perspective, so you don't overreact when you come across the rare bad time, and
Mhm.
also it gives you tools to deal with serious things when serious things happen. Uh, God willing, they never will, but if and when they do, you have some basis of conflict resolution to draw upon to resolve the whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because I gave people the suggestion that they should write and do storytelling, I want to point out one of the funnest parts and one of the best ways to organize it, because if you just start writing, you might write yourself into a corner, fizzle out, and never go back to it, and that's a shame. That's fine if you want to do that, but if you want to like write a complete story, outline it and spend as much time as you can on the outline. It's so fun figuring out the beats, the chapters, where you want this to happen. You can move things around. You can do a lot of editing without feeling like you're wasting work. Like if you write whole chapters and go, "Oh, I got to rewrite 3 of those chapters," that's a lot of effort. If it's just an outline, that's very little effort. So make sure that you're at least writing out some sort of an outline before you start. And then some people write such a detailed outline that that's basically becomes the first draft. You
I
don't
have
have to do it
similar
like that,
advice.
but
They say when you're trying to learn to dance, start by finding out the basic moves you like to do. Like, oh, are you the kind of person that likes to shuffle to the
Ah,
side, or are you the kind of person that likes to wave your hand? You start there, and then you look. I think
yeah.
when you're doing that, if you're gonna commit to, or you're like, I'm curious enough about writing, I'm gonna write outlines and what have you, and you get to the part where you're like, it's time to start moving my fingers over a keyboard and you can't figure out where to start, just write a sentence that makes you happy. That's my pitch.
a sentence
But
that makes you happy.
yeah, not like a wish fulfillment thing. Just like write down a sentence that you would enjoy seeing written somewhere. Like
Mhm.
Johnny's head was canoed by a laser beam, or whatever is your joy. And
Not
you'll
bad.
probably throw it out, but it'll start you on the right path.
I can't tell you how
Canoed.
many times I do that. I generally
Totally.
write the last sentence of a book before I even get writing it. I'm like, this is how I want it to
Oh,
end.
wow.
I do that a
Okay.
lot.
I could see that.
It's so
And then
satisfying
Coming
to have the end
soon,
figured
slowly
out.
Matt
getting there.
Strackbein's book of 75 unfinished story endings.
And what a great what a
That's
great
Told
great.
thing
in
to
70
start by
pages.
writing
Uh,
the end. Anytime
oh,
someone
that's
goes, "How's the
funny.
book going?" You just be like, "Oh, I finished it already. I'm just filling out the details." I like that.
That's
I
awesome.
gotta tell you, we got the greatest chats that follow us
We do,
on
I
these
have to let
Wednesday
y'all in on a
nights.
secret. When
What?
you put
Hmm.
those messages up, I get through about half of the first word before they're gone. I am
Oh,
Oh,
I am a pathetically slow reader.
well, I'm
You'll
just
never
looking.
leave it
I
up
love
long enough
y'all.
that I'll get through it. That's impossible. But I'll get the gist by. I don't know.
It's okay. I'm just watching. I just love reading what everybody's writing on the different channels. Different channels throughout the
Oh yeah,
conversations. Pretty.
there's also
It's
the
cool as
entirety of the
shit.
chat permanently in a
Yeah.
little
I look this
thing
way, I
right
can
there.
see everybody. I look this way, I can see, but then I gotta click this. But it's cool. You're all right out there.
You are. We have an amazing chat. I
We
love them
do.
dearly.
All of everybody. I'm telling you.
They make it fun to do this, and it could be very easily not fun some nights, but it's always fun when I end up talking to them.
oh, yeah. Speaking from somebody who loves hanging out in chats, like I just sit here reading this whole thing all night. Like, it's really fun, and that's
And then
why
you
I
forget
forgot to
you're actually
mention.
on the show, and then that's why you're always
Yeah,
slumped in the corner going like,
and that, and I forgot to mention we've been
Okay.
on for longer than an hour. Just so you know.
Yeah. I
well,
know
I
it's gone
have I
fast
have
tonight.
a promotional material,
Ooh,
All
Hit it.
right.
hit us.
which is like this is like a new segment because I always have promo every week
All
apparently.
right.
Can you play videos through the screen share? It doesn't need to have audio, but just like motion picture.
As a tab on my
Well, just
web
like
browser,
like
or
on the sharing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna send you
yeah,
a video, and then you
through the
put it on the
private
stream, but it's muted.
chat.
I mean, I'm just gonna send it in Discord. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's nice I'm not running the thing, so I don't have to worry about it.
You let me know if you need some troubleshooting.
Who, me?
Related.
Yeah,
Well,
Sandy.
that's
Mine's
well,
it's
that's
Ecamm. It's Ecamm Live. It was just figuring out adding multiple guests more than 4. And I was trying to do something fancy and it didn't work. So Friday night will be a lot different. I will not do that.
I,
Okay,
related. I
Andrea.
just I sent that photo in Discord because I just
Yeah,
realized that's
I
probably
love
the best
that.
way. If you want to, if you're able to and want to, I'm happy to share that with the audience and get their opinions on whether or not I've done you dirty with these costumes.
We'll do a whole who is who guessing game after
Yeah, if you
after
can
mine.
name the 2 luchadors, I'll give you 100. What do I have? 100 of
Oh,
pesos, probably
Well, Matt's an expert
rubles.
in that category, so
I just saw it.
What? What am I an
in
expert in?
luchadors.
Oh, well, sort of.
I called the headband, did I not? It's a slick look.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, just
So,
like play the
Andrea,
video and skim around, you know.
I want to see this.
no volume.
All right.
No, volume is
look at
not
that.
necessary. Just like
Okay.
you know, just skim around. I just did like
Quest.
you know. But anyway, I finally finished what may or may not be the first Chex Quest Megawad. I've looked extensively to find someone else that did this before me. I have not. That may or
Okay.
may not be because the internet, you know, things don't last forever, contrary to popular belief. Sometimes websites go down, so it's possible. But I finished it. It's done. It's called Chex Quest, the Penultimate Breakfast. It's got 7 episodes, which the most recent one is Thy Checks Consumed. And then you have checks and balances. You have blank checks
Megawad.
and more. So I also wrote some of the music for some of these levels. So,
Oh, cool.
you know, there you go. So check
Look
it
at
out.
that.
Dude. That's
Max.
so cool.
Oh,
The
there's Max.
penultimate breakfast.
Oh, look at the doggy.
Oh, baby.
Oh, that's cool, Andrea.
Andrea, I cannot tell you how happy you've made me by creating this. Thank you.
Well, you would make me even happier if you played it.
Oh, I'm
My
good. Megawad.
megawad. What does megawad sound like?
Well, WAD is the file format, and
Where's
mega
all
is
that
just like a
data?
big one.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking gross shit. A megawatt. I was watching some silly stuff today, and now my brain's taking me somewhere.
Oh, I'm not thrilled with this. The losing the lights there. You do a lot of level design stuff that gives me anxiety and will be very fun to play and will also age me.
Well, that's why you got to hunt for the light power-ups, so the light is
Oh.
temporary.
Son of a
Wow.
gun.
This looks
I
awesome.
am so thrilled.
Hold on,
The
let me
animation.
bring up.
Real quick, how did you get the Chex Quest animation? Did you recreate that yourself, or did you find it archived somewhere? How?
What do you mean animation?
The gloves, the devices.
Well, that's just all in the game. I just made the levels. I made some of the graphics, I just you build on
that's
top
not
of the
in-
base game.
But that's not in Doom.
Well, it's in Chex Quest, which is a real
you-
game that exists.
How are you able? I guess you
It's
talked
the
about
same
this
engine.
originally.
So Chex Quest is just graphics and sound replacements of Doom. So the engine
Yeah.
is the same. Like the levels and the gameplay all identical. It's just in Chex Quest you got the little green guys and your little Zorcher weapons. But it all functions identically. So you can make a
Zorcher.
level for one and just put it in the other and vice versa.
That's
Zorcher
beautiful,
weapons.
and I cannot wait. Thank you.
Sandy's
There you
like
go.
Zorcher levels.
Well,
Megawatt.
Zorch, because it's a game for kids, so they took the violence out. So you don't kill them, you Zorch them, which is like sending them to their home planet with like a teleportation ray.
All
Oh, I
right.
love it.
I never
Is
want
that
to be
me?
Zorched.
And
Is that
violently
me in the
Zorch
white?
from the midsection. Yes.
Is it right here? Oh,
You're
my
one of
God,
the
I
few
love that.
people that got muscle definition. I'll have you know that's a huge honor. You got pecs.
Right. I love it.
Which one's me? Am I in this one?
You're dead center there. I'm sorry. We took off the glasses.
I could
And,
wear a
if-
shirt like that 10 years ago.
We got
I don't think I've ever
we
worn a
have
shirt like that.
I could. but
Cortez
not now.
Crimson in the red tie there. And if people can name the luchadors, let's just call it a gentleman's bet. You guys will win the gentleman. Yeah.
The what now?
The people in the wrestling masks, the luchador masks. One is
who
a
can
what
name
was
famous
the
them?
green-
prize? We're winning a
Name
gentleman.
them.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is it Hurricane
Yeah.
Ramirez? No?
There. One is a podcaster whose show Matt has been on. I can't remember if Sandy or Andrea has been on their show. And the
Oh,
other
yeah.
is a
I haven't.
very well known commentator and not commentator, excuse me, commenter and call-in guest.
Really?
Oh, so what do you have, like Kowalski
Infinite
and Bender?
content. Oh,
Is
wow.
Kowalski?
How'd you do that
Or-
so fast? You
Damn,
nailed them
Matt.
both.
Yeah, you did.
It's Kowalski and Matt Bender? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, I watch a
thought
lot of
no
shows.
one was
Quick.
going to get
I've
that.
been on Tinder show.
You asked
Well,
the wrong
thanks
guy.
for the stylish jacket.
I love my outfit. I love my belt.
Matt looks like a
Yep.
Street Fighter character.
Yeah.
Dude, the original idea
Violent.
is so ambitious. I was originally imagining you wearing this long. Did you ever see the Cube? No, wait, not Cube. It doesn't matter. This like long jacket thing that was so long that it dragged on the floor behind you like a wedding dress, and all you had to do was like spread your arms and it came off. And then I tried to animate that, and I said, "This is going to be a still frame of my friends."
Wow.
Because I
Awesome.
will be in my late 80s before I'm done with this.
Oh, stop. I think you're
sounds like a
doing
good
gr- you-
project.
but you're just just what did we talk about? You're getting there. You're enjoying the ride.
Oh yeah, no. And this is how we're getting there
Yeah.
is chopping that ambition way down, putting it
Oh,
way down. This would be like if you were doing the mega wad and you said maybe just half a wad, half a standard wad. is fine.
You know, it's a fun story about the term megawatt. So, megawatt has had a definition. It's a replacement of 15 or more levels in a Doom set.
Dang.
And
lot of work.
the creator of Doom, John Romero, released a 9-level set and called it a megawatt, which is definitionally incorrect. So now no one knows what a megawatt is anymore. The creator of the game calls something a megawatt. It's only 9 levels. Definition's thrown out the window. So thanks a lot, John Romero, for many things, including destroying the definition.
Sandy and Matt back in. We're gonna nerd our way out of.
That's all right. But I can tell you what I think megawatt sounds like. An 80s porn flick.
Well, where do you think they got the name from?
I need to get the mustache back. We're going that route.
Oh my god!
I think that was my first YouTube short. Was a reference to the pornography mustache that I had chosen to grow.
When your career starts with references to pornography, you know it's only going to end
porn.
in actual pornography. That's the hope.
Exactly.
That's
I didn't want to say it.
Oh shit!
Going to be going to Twitch.television pretty soon here with that career.
Well, the filmed intercourse I've had has not been paid. It's been entirely security camera based. The zoo won't let me back in.
Security.
The other movie
were all horrible.
Oh god!
Check it out. Check it out. I'm changing the subject.
All right.
The other
change it quickly.
The other movie I saw that was worthwhile. Tell me, because this one had a little controversy. Maestro.
Haven't seen it.
Seen that one either.
Bradley Cooper. Directed,
I love
starring
Bradley Cooper too.
Nope. I don't think I've seen it.
Not what's it about even?
Man, I need
Hold
some
on,
time.
I'll read you the
Please be about
the fearless love story chronicles the complicated lifelong relationship between music legend Leonard Bernstein and Felicia
Really?
Montenegro. Montenegro Cohn was her name.
I don't know, Sandy. To me, that sounds like something we're gonna watch like in 5 years when it's on Netflix. You know?
It's a Netflix original.
It is Netflix.
Oh God!
No, so I can watch it on Netflix after
It
the
is.
show.
Carey Mulligan plays famous composer. You know Bernstein? Is it Bernstein or Bernstein? He did West Side Story.
I think it's Bernstein.
So she plays. Carey Mulligan plays his wife, and it was more than once I sat up and was like, "That's one of the best performances I've ever seen." More than once from that one actor in that one movie, I was like, "Wow!" Floored. The controversy was that Bradley Cooper's prosthetic nose was needlessly large.
I heard about this.
Oh,
I heard about
like
this.
they're
So
like
did I.
I didn't know what movie it
Okay.
was, but I saw this. Like someone posted a picture of this online during filming or something, so I didn't know what movie it was. But yeah,
they were like his regular nose looked more
they
like
should just
the
use
guy.
his nose.
The thing was,
and get makeup.
the composer would make fun of his own ears for being large, so that was kind of a thing that they could do. But the performances were outstanding. And again, it's one of these historical things where you're like, it's a movie. I'm just here to be entertained, not take it for fact. But my gosh, it was so well acted. I was just floored by it. And especially, Carey Mulligan. Do you know, you seen her?
I just looked up a picture of her, and no, for me.
Oh, really?
What about you, Sandy? Andrea?
No,
I've heard of her, but I don't.
I need a week off to do to watch all these movies. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about a week off, not just from my show, but a week off from everything here, just to watch.
That's what I do between like 11 p.m. or midnight and like 4 in the morning. This is what I do.
And then get up.
Get up at like 7, 8, something like that.
I literally slept late today, too late. Wrecked my day.
I'm
Do you
gonna
guys need a
not
lot
bring
of
it back
sleep?
to this.
Oh,
I
what?
sleep
Seven,
like
seven,
fucking 10 hours a day. It's a
7.
symptom of depression. I need help.
Mm.
Oi,
Mm.
all right, buddy.
Sleep less.
I'll try
Se-
to
Ooh.
Sleep
help you,
less.
but it's gonna be the blind leading the blind. I could recommend a number of extraordinarily unhealthy coping mechanisms that have
Oh,
been
I'm
working out.
already right there with you.
Okay, all right,
But
good.
I also
We'll
think when you
exchange
sleep
notes.
long periods of time, the most active REM cycles are between the 7th and 9th hours of sleep. So if you're a dream user, and I treat dreams like a drug because they're that cool. So if you're a dream user, 7th and 9th hours between that period, your eyes are gonna go in like it's pretty cool. And then you cook up some
Dreams.
stories. I had a dream the other day. Alien invasion, classic tale. Max the dog and I were running against aliens. He was chasing the aliens, and I said, "Max, why are you in my dream? It's dangerous." And then
That's
Best
funny.
part of Independence Day
Dreams.
is the dog makes it.
there you
I
go.
assume
That
Max
was a
had a
good movie.
similar stroke of luck.
Oh, Max was fine. Don't worry about him.
I'm a dreamer. I had a nightmare the other day, and I had to call my kid right away and tell her the whole thing because I had to while it was on my mind because it involved her dad, and it was a nightmare. It was
That's why I
totally
miss
a
weed. I used to smoke from
Oh.
like the age of 13 up until 2 years ago. I would smoke from like wake up to go to bed, and I would never dream. I would never dream. It was so
That's the
nice,
worst
and
part
now
about weed for me. Like if
I loved it.
weed and dreams could mix,
I like
it's a
dreams.
perfect drug. But that's the one thing I don't like about weed is that you can't dream. That's the one major negative.
I've never
I
felt that
can't make
way.
it through the night. I can't
I'm
make
a
it through the night
dreamer.
anymore. It sucks. I hate it. I have
No, that's
nightmares.
Wow.
because you spend like fucking 40
Shit.
years running away from your goddamn demons and they're all coming to roost at the same time.
Not really.
They'll never catch me.
You say that now because you haven't processed it. This is what someone who would run away from their demons would say. That's what they would say.
I'll
Yeah,
throw
did you
this
guys
at you.
I
know?
don't know. I dream.
Did you know I used
Oh,
to
no, go
smoke
ahead.
that much weed though?
No,
Oh, yeah, you told me.
That's insane.
I used
That's
to smoke
I'm
weed,
an
though.
avid used to. Come on.
Well,
I'm
I don't
high right
smoke
now.
like I used to smoke more, but I don't want to
Oh no,
fuck my
I'm
lungs
clean
up.
now. I moved to South Carolina. I do not mess around. You don't know what's in that stuff.
I used to smoke, but
I can mail
smoking
you
hurts my
some.
lungs, so I eat it and I drink it instead. Anyone like sublingual, you just fucking put it
Yeah,
in your
I'm
tongue and you
making
go
it.
like,
I'm making tinctures now.
oh
Working
yeah.
on it.
I don't know
The
about you
pain-
guys, but
Shit burns though, kind of hurts.
edibles of any sort hit me way
Try hard.
harder.
Me too.
Way harder.
Well, when
Like a
you
Mack
smoke, you
truck.
destroy most of the active compounds, like percentage wise. Like
Mm.
on an edible, you're getting significantly higher percentage of the same amount. So like if
Noted.
you have like an ounce of weed and you smoke it all versus you eat it all, you're going to be
Yeah.
getting double or triple the overall lifespan and potency and efficacy if you eat it. Because
Mhm.
smoking just, smoking is dumb. If you're out there, kids,
I
there are
used
kids
to,
out there,
and
don't
I don't
smoke.
wanna.
It's fucking bad for you.
Yeah,
It's
smoking's
fucking
cool.
It hurts your lungs. It is cool as hell though. That's the
It's
one
bad,
thing.
but
It
don't.
is really
seriously,
cool.
don't do it.
No, I mean it is really cool. But you know what's cooler? Being able to breathe. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Post-apocalypse, climate change. You're gonna have volcanoes, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I wish I didn't smoke all that weed, man, because I can't breathe anymore."
That's what I
Edibles,
was worried about. I gave my bong away last week. That was pretty traumatic, but I
Bongs are
did.
cool as hell.
I
though.
used to smoke through the bong and put wine in it, but I found myself always running over to the bong. I because I'm a grower and
And
I'm
you
a
gotta
master
clean it.
grower.
The cleaning is the worst part.
I gave it away. It's done.
Hey Jake, what were you gonna say? You had something
Uh,
off topic. What was it?
No, it was
Oh.
but it was almost certainly an inappropriate joke. I
Oh.
will say that a dear friend, our old pal Foxy, gave me a let's say a weed facilitating device
Mhm.
that is in reserve and held. It's like the one thing I have in a special place in my apartment. It's in reserve to the day that Trump gets a criminal guilty verdict. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to be incoherent. It's going to be delightful.
Okay, he might get that verdict. It's the sentencing that I want to know about.
Yeah,
What do
I'm
you
waiting
think?
until the orange jumpsuit, like handcuffs. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, we've
That'll
been
never
waiting for
happen,
how
right?
long?
It'll
Oh,
never
I'm waiting
I
happen.
think
for it.
maybe.
It will
I
happen.
think
Biden,
Well, I
I
don't
think
know.
Joe
you're an
Biden would pardon him.
awfully.
Ugh.
I
Could
think
you
we
imagine?
anything we do. Let me put it like this: we should be aware of what America was and prepared for what America's tendencies are, while understanding that we are in a new America. Anything could happen, baby. The tides are changing. It could mean that terrible things happen that never used to happen, but it could also mean that good things happen. But it won't happen without everybody, without an active force making it happen.
I think if Trump went to jail and Hillary Clinton became president, she would pardon him.
Trump.
Because
she would.
Hillary would not.
Because her
pardon him.
husband's name is in
Biden, I think
Epstein's
Biden
island
would, but
book.
Hillary would not. I
They're
don't
all-
think Hillary would.
they're all connected.
They're all
They're
in
all
there.
in a club.
Sure they
They all
are.
have
I mean, I
deals.
agree that they're in a club, but I don't think Hillary's reputation that she's constructed could survive such an act. You know, she's literally, her entire personality is like, but Trump. Like for the last fucking 5, 6, however goddamn long years we've been in this fucking nightmare.
It is
She
a
trods out on
nightmare.
TV. Hey guys,
Yeah, they
Trump,
trot her
huh?
out now.
Huh? Trump? Anybody? You know,
Mm-mm.
anybody? Hey.
If there's any consolation to the horrible timeline that we live in, I'm confident that Hillary Clinton is never returning to politics.
Now
If-
I
I hope-
disagree. I want to say this.
She
I'm going to
better
cut you
not.
off, Letterhack, because it's such a hot take. You know, you got to prepare yourself.
All
Please
right.
no. Please no. All right.
Any day of the week, you give me 2 options on a ballot: Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. I'm voting for Hillary any day of this week. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I know
Well, she's
people
not
might
90
disagree.
years old.
I'm going Hillary
Age
over
is
Joe. So
What's your
that's the
reasoning,
best thing
though?
I can say about her.
What's your reasoning though?
First female president. Glass ceiling. Come on.
Uh,
Woo!
Fair enough.
Why don't we just wipe the slate clean and start over?
You know, you got to throw a wrench
Just
into the
glass the
system. I'm
planet.
voting for Hillary Clinton. That's a wrench into the system that if you've ever
God.
seen one.
And she's not running, so forget it.
And she should, though.
Hey, Matt, you live in what, South Carolina? Nikki Haley's state? You think she's got a shot?
Oh, Kowalski's here.
I'm launching a poll
Oh, okay. he's
in my
gonna
chat.
join in.
No. No. I think it's gonna be Trump. It's gonna be Trump.
You're taking a
Here-
page out of your old editor's
Diaper-
playbook. No.
Diaper donned. Lincoln
Here's the
Project had
thing.
so much fun
If-
with the Trump smell stuff.
The Lincoln Project is not real. They're making money. It's Republicans making money off
course.
Republicans. It's all BS.
Yeah,
if
but they just brought
I
that up
think-
to make Trump pissed off, and it's working.
Nope.
The diaper,
Nope.
the diaper don.
Trump doesn't
smelling-
care
smell,
about any of that. If nope, it's
You don't think
it's
so?
all's fair in the free
Lincoln
market, and those
truther.
Republicans are making bank off having an enemy
they
in
are.
their ranks. And so, who do you think gave us that guy? For God's sake!
They
And so
did.
anyway, but check this out. I think tell me what you think about this. Let's say Trump had, like, Biden didn't win, and Trump had like a full 2 terms. How long before Democrats would be like, he wasn't that bad? It's fine.
Oh God.
He was right about
Hey,
this. He got
he
us
was
out of
off.
this. He
I'm gonna
did.
I'm gonna say one extra Republican. Like you need to have another one, and then the last one all of a sudden transforms into like, you know, guardian angel of our planet. You know, like soon as Donald Trump was elected, George W. Bush, he was the greatest guy. I mean, 9/11, he got us through. He got us through 9/11. That's what the liberals were saying. Oh, you know, he paints.
Sack of shit.
You look at him. He's a goofy old guy. He couldn't do anything
On
wrong. Look,
Ellen.
He wears a suit. He shows up at the inauguration. He's a great guy. They're gonna be saying that about Trump when fucking I don't know whichever character.
Can't even imagine.
I mean, when
can't.
people thought it was silly to get mad at Ellen for hanging out with George W. Bush, and I was like,
No.
what?
I just
Murderer.
like what do
Well,
you
'cause
have
this
in
kid was on The
common? Like
View.
I'm just trying to figure out what they fucking have in common. Like this
Oh,
guy
that's
ran
easy.
on
They're rich and
banning gay
powerful.
people
Yeah.
from public life. Like what is your special connection? You like going to ball
big
games?
club.
You can't go to ball games with
big
someone
club.
fucking else.
She is
Holy
more a rich
cock and suck.
person than she is a person. That's the answer. And he's
It's a
more
big club,
a
and
powerful
we ain't
person
in
than
it.
he is a person.
Yep. We
I
ain't
do
in it,
like
but
to
I'd
think
rather
about
be in
that,
this
though.
club.
I like to.
It's a
Me
good
too. I
hypothetical.
like to think about that kind of like madness because that's real. Like that stuff happens. Like, and it helps me put into perspective whatever's going on now. Like, really, wasn't Pete Buttigieg in second place? It was like Bernie and Pete, and they're doing great. And Pete's like, you know what? I'm stepping
Kitty,
aside.
kitty.
It's Biden's. Really, wasn't he in like
Mhm.
ninth? What's going on here? Or fifth or something? It's
And then
one
you
phone
have
call from
fucking
Barack
Pete
Obama.
Buttigieg pretending to win on Iowa just to like fucking suck up the media thing. And then Trump does the same thing all of a sudden. How dare he? The results aren't in. When Pete does it, oh, so great, sir. What a great play, sir. Fuck Bernie, sir. When Trump
But
does
you
it,
could
all of
see
a sudden
how
it's a big deal.
one call from Barack Obama after Trump's second term saying, "Hey, Democrats, just we don't need this animosity toward Republicans right now. Like, stop dumping on Trump all the time." You could see how one phone call from one dude, they would all just fall in line and fucking do it. And it'd be like, because, one, you'll get your chance at a cabinet position or you'll be president next time. 3 presidents from now, we'll make you the nominee. But it would take very little to get people to just sort of act like. It drives me insane. It's gaslighting is what it is. But it
That's
makes
because like
me
people are
nuts to
just
think about it, but I like
fundamentally they don't give a fuck about anything. Like especially Democrats. Democrats are the most apathetic, narcissistic, fucking loser goofballs I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Like at
Not
least
all of
Republicans, for the
them.
most part, they believe the stupid shit that they're saying. Democrats, do you think John Fetterman believes the shit that he says? Hell no. You think any of these fucking freak shows believe anything that they say? Fuck no. They don't give a fuck. The only thing John Fetterman cares about is probably like stroke healthcare because he suffered from such a thing. Like until they actually deal with such a thing in their personal life, they don't give a shit about nothing because they're a bunch of fucking slimy loser fucking goofballs.
Well, that's the
Goof
nature of
cubes, even.
politics in the maybe all over the world now, pretty much. That's the nature. I always say, with the conflicts, let the academics solve it, not the religious
But
people or the politicians.
but
They're the only ones that work together.
none of these, to go back to Nikki Haley, none of these other
Yeah.
people running in the Republican primary even think they're going to be president. And here's the
No.
thing, I truly believe this. Their plan for when they're president, besides if they were elected, besides being like the boss of it all, very much like Elon Musk owning Twitter. Besides that, it would be the exact same gig for them as what happens when they don't win and they just become a pundit on Fox News or MSNBC or whatever, right? On cable news. It's the same. This is my opinion, and you guys don't know. I know, and so I'm better. And you don't know and how it really is. And I hate to tell you this, but you should be really afraid. And just the difference between being a pundit on the news and being president is you're also the boss of it all. And this arrogant jerk that's like, hey, I am the coolest guy in the room. It's settled.
But you
And that
guys
is disgusting, but that's how it is.
Where do you think Chris
do you
Christie's
feel
going?
the difference though now
Back to
as opposed
MSNBC.
to 15 years ago?
In
Do you
what?
feel the
Absolutely.
difference?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I feel a difference, but what difference do you mean?
I was like
Like
12,
it's
15 years ago.
worse.
So.
Like how much
burn your house
more
down.
of a
Everything's so much more
spectacle it is.
corporatized.
No,
You're talking about primaries and
No, I'm
No,
talking
the
about the
atmosphere.
voting populace. I'm talking about, yes, there's a lot of people that are ill-informed, but they give a damn. They used to be ill-informed and they didn't give a damn. And there's plenty of people who never used to know anything about any of this who are now well-informed. The American populace has changed in a very healthy way. They've changed in unhealthy ways too. But circa what 2003, nobody understood how anything worked, and
I'll
now
tell
you
you
have
how
people who are involved.
I agree. Here's how I look at this. More young people, because it used to be you get to a certain age and you start paying attention because now you own stuff and it affects
Yeah,
you and you're looking at retirement
country
and
built
Social
for
Security and all this.
owners of things.
Yeah, and I think now, or I don't know if it's like literally the last 15 years or whatever, but over in recent years, yes, a lot more young people, a lot of people are getting their finger on the pulse earlier.
Yeah,
I
My
don't know.
my
I have
and
you can't always guess that it's for the right reasons, but it's that Overton window has shifted enough so that people are aware that there are things to be aware of, whether they have that
yes,
totally figured out or they know the exact right ones. They know earlier on that they should be paying attention. It's how you form your politics and your opinion about the issues over the course of your um 20s, 30s as you mature. I
Mm.
think that I think that's what I wish could be sharper earlier on. I don't know if that's the case, but I didn't
sure.
give a damn about any of this stuff, not in a serious way, until the last 10 years.
Yeah,
You
same.
know, and I'm 49. And so it's like I
Mhm.
wasted a lot of time not paying attention. Now look at Andrea, who is way more switched on than I am right now
Oh,
and
absolutely.
half my age.
I guess I was different. I was switched on all my life. Started in 7th
That's
grade
rare.
when Nixon
That's
came through
amazing.
my town, and
You
I
are a
stood on the
brilliant,
McGovern
shining
side.
anomaly. Yeah.
Maybe
That's
because
Same.
I
confirmed.
always was. There was always something for me to do that
But
was
look at how the 80s suppressed that because of previous generations being so aware and so
yeah.
switched on. And then the 80s comes along and they're like, no, 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 you guys,
True.
toys. It's gonna be great. We're gonna market tons of shit that you want but don't need.
That happened, but there were
We're
still so
coming
many
out of it.
issues in the 80s. There were still issues. The women's issues were big,
Mm.
we were real into keeping choice a thing still,
Yeah,
even though it
yeah.
was the tides were changing. And then we lived through the HIV AIDS epidemic, and there was a lot of activism around that because it was so contentious. I mean, there's always been a lot. I don't think I ever fell asleep.
I ran
Andrea,
Contra leading. Yeah,
Yep,
What?
I read Contra. That was disgusting. I used to run around telling people all about what Reagan did, and people didn't
good on
know.
you.
They didn't
Thank
want to
you.
believe me. Well, I read In These Times, and that's been around a long time. In These Times and The Nation, but In These Times was really good, and it was
I appreciate you keeping the porch light on, man. Genuinely, I mean, to use a similar light analogy, you kept a torch for sanity during painful times.
very painful times.
I was
I
talking
mean,
to someone in their
yeah.
70s just a couple years ago. I know they were in their 70s because they said, I'm in my 70s and I just learned what gerrymandering was.
Oh my God!
Know what I
Wow!
mean? So this
Wow!
shit is
Wow,
right out in
wow,
the open,
wow.
but nobody sees it. Yeah. Better, yeah,
Good
better
thing
late than never, but
people
still.
are waking up.
But better late than never applies to individuals, not generations. So I really appreciate the fact that younger people are very aware of the fact that time is running out and you need to be aware full time. And just so everyone knows, the poll I ran in my chat, Biden beats Hillary 60 to 39. 61
Nah.
to 39.
Hillary wins against Biden any day. Got a dumbass chat.
God,
This-
how about we
this my
just don't
chat.
even?
Stupid
Yeah.
ass chat.
Don't listen.
right.
Don't listen to her chat.
How about do you guys
Hill dog.
think
Let's go.
that is this contentious to talk about? Do you think that the D party is grooming using that word, Newsom, to be something with that debate between what's his name in Florida?
No.
Ron.
I think
Newsom
Newsom is grooming
himself.
himself. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just asking because I really don't. That one I haven't thought all the way through.
That guy makes me I true real talk here. I want Newsom to be president less than I want Joe Biden to be president, because Biden, I feel, could be puppeted by whatever popular movements are going on, and Newsom thinks he's just too much of a huckster. He's
Well, a
going to
lot of
try to sell us
Californians
our own
don't like
shoes.
him. Yeah, a lot of Californians do
Understandably.
not like him.
Understandable.
Mm,
It's
I would
gonna
like to make
Hillary
an
Clinton.
that rude.
Hillary will be the next Democratic nominee.
I hate
I
you
would
so
like
much.
to make an announcement.
All right,
Go
what
ahead.
is it?
I think I'm going to be the first one to go.
I drank
All right,
coffee,
fair enough.
Yeah, it's almost
and I have
midnight.
to get up early.
Can you believe this shit? I'm trying to sweat out Jake here. It's not working. So
Well, maybe we'll
You guys are
all
talking
sleep
politics.
tonight at
You
the
want to
same
keep me
time.
on forever. Just continue talking politics. I'll never get bored
I
of it.
I
I'm
would
so
like
sorry.
them to. I would like Josh Shapiro to make a move.
PA? Is he PA?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think
Hmm.
he's good.
Wait a minute.
All
Not
right.
ideally, but you know what I mean. Like if when you look at the field, I think that's the one. One time I said
Wow.
that
Is it
on Twitter.
It's a debris field. I'm sorry.
I said that on Twitter one time,
Oh
and
boy.
Sam Cedar liked the tweet, and then it was like the next day or 2 days later, he said, "Some people are saying maybe Josh Shapiro," and I was like,
Ah.
"I'm
I'm
some
sorry,
people."
Is he the AG?
that easy.
He's a
Shapiro.
governor.
Is he the Attorney General?
He's the next
Oh,
state
governor.
over for
But
me.
seriously though, I'm
governor,
gonna
right?
leave now. So
All right. See
everyone
you,
All
have
right,
a
buddy.
great
Andrea.
evening.
Andrea,
Thanks
before
for
you
hanging out.
leave,
I'm going to play.
can
Bye,
Andrea just
Andrea.
give us some wisdom before she leaves, and
What do you need? What,
just wrap up for what you think about the night.
Hillary
Last show of the year.
2028. Hillary
Oh, please.
2028. So
Okay.
Damn it.
I'm gonna start it, get it rolling. You know, so if anyone wants to join, it's a grassroots effort. If anyone wants to join, go to hilldog.dog
Woof.
and give me your email. I will be sure to sell it to the DNC, just like Bernie did. And also give me your money. I will tell you it's for the campaign, but the campaign is not going to be around for a while. And I got to staff up with all my friends and family to give them the
Right.
salary of which you will be providing for us in the form of campaign donations.
There you
And
go.
this will all take place over the course of the next 6 years. So join the team, everybody.
Can't wait.
And I'm going to do Above It All on Friday. So check that out.
Heck
And
yes.
All
got
right.
Chex Quest, the penultimate breakfast. Check it out.
Good.
That's all I got.
Thank
Jake,
you,
did you have something to say?
Andrea.
I missed the last part.
Did you have something to say, Jake? I'm looking at you.
No, I'm just delighted that you made a megawatt X Quest. That makes me so
Okay.
happy. Thank you.
It makes me happy too.
Thank you, Andrea.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye, Andrea.
sweetie. All right. Well, Andrea's down. Who's next? I don't know how I made it, but I guess it was the coffee. And now I'll never go to sleep. And I have to get up and go to Buffalo tomorrow. Yuck.
Buffalo.
I was supposed to meet up with Christy, but I haven't heard from her, so I guess that's not happening.
That's where
Yeah,
the
I got
Buffalonians roam, huh?
right. Yeah, I got to go up there tomorrow, and I don't
Do you
like the
guys like do a
3 hour
thing
road
when you
trip.
see each other or something? How do you greet a
No,
Buffalonian? Are you like,
we snort.
hey, buddy, Buffalo?
No, we start going like this, and we snort like we're gonna run into each other with our
That's
yeah
awesome.
Buffalonians.
You got any snow
uh
up there?
no, it was raining here all day long. And it was loud. I mean, it was like a lot of rain I don't know how much rain we actually got here, but the forecasts were just insane. It's
It was
not
like
raining now, but it's
65.
45. We're 18 degrees above average weather right now here, and we got almost an inch of rain here, but I know other places got more rain. I'm just looking.
We got more than that. Yeah. It
Yeah,
rained
you did.
for several days. It laid off today, but it was wet enough to ruin my tennis game. I didn't get out there.
Aw.
Bummer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Bummer.
to laugh at your misfortune. It just eventually that will pay off. The fact that you play tennis, it will pay off comedically in a big way
Oh,
for me. I'm very happy.
I'm loving it. It's so
That's
great.
good.
It's one
It's
I
just a
wish I
weird
had
through line.
discovered it earlier.
Anything you could
What do you
do
mean?
that's physical is good.
What's
Just
weird?
it's like the left version of golf. It's just something I noticed that a lot of lefties are tennis players, so it's
That's
become
funny.
a
The
runner.
left version of
It
golf.
for me, it's like hit. Okay, so first of all, I love individual sports like ski and
Yeah.
tennis. And I love international sports where different countries are represented all the time. It's not just America, right? And
Yeah.
and and I really it's a hit activity.
Mhm.
HIIT, high
Mhm.
interval impact, high interval intensity training. I forget which
Yeah, maybe.
but it appeals to me. My
Yeah.
body
It
responds to
means
that better than long distance running or weightlifting.
you're going really fast, stop. Going really fast, stop. It's
Yeah,
high
yeah.
activity, no activity. High activity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's core, arms, legs, eyes, brain,
Well,
ears,
your whole
neck.
body's
It's
engaged.
it's everything. Yeah.
Hey, Jake, do you have one? Do you have a physical activity or sport that you partake in?
I have an incredibly nerdy one that I've been doing for literally decades, which I won't bore you with, but in recent years I've been playing racquetball, which I find
Oh,
is very similar to
okay.
tennis, and it's fun. And it's
That's
easier to do
cool.
by yourself as well, because I like to do it at odd hours, like 2 a.m.
So you
There's
go to the
gyms near me.
racquetball? Yeah. All
Yeah, there's
right.
gyms near me that are as long as you're a member, you just scan a card and they have racquetball courts. So you got to burn off some steam. You go in there and whack a rubber ball around and fail to hit
Yeah.
it like 3 times, fall
Okay.
down, bruise your knee, get angry, and leave. That's how I like to
That's cool. Mine was always dancing. I started dancing in
dancing.
high school, and I didn't have to take gym because I danced and I did the dancing, and then throughout my life was dancing
I
and
didn't know we were counting that. Gang, gang,
it
soul life. We're
what?
not real. Well, that's true.
We're not
We're
real.
all well. You are soul life, but the rest of us are all figments of your imagination. Good luck. Um, I didn't know we were counting dancing. Let me tell you this.
Well,
Speaking of
dancing is
night
very
activities,
physical. And when you go to the gym and you can take mine was favorite one was body combat, and it was mixed
ooh,
martial arts with dance, and it was
yes,
great. And I did that all the way up until my
that
worst
sounds
my yeah, but my now I can't because I've had back surgeries and it sucks because I love to dance and I'm a natural dancer and I was good at it.
that sounds
Now
like so much fun.
I walked the property all my life, but
Kowalski,
that's,
just killing it with these
Thanks,
super
Kowalski.
stickers. Thank you.
I even
All
got
over the
one.
place, man.
I didn't say thank you. I did say thank you. It was from Matt from New Zealand. Thank you, Matt, for that. There it is. Thank you.
Yes.
And
What
I
was
agree
this?
with him 100% because we do a lot of graphs on our channel and we do a lot of looking at statistics and things. And if everybody was on the metric system, it would be uniform. But the United States, we
Amazing.
always have to sit and clarify in our talks that, okay, it's Celsius or it's Fahrenheit. And it's stupid because we really all should be on one system. So there you go. There you go.
That's
Let
you,
me tell you
Jake.
this.
Member for 5 months.
Yes. Yeah, I tossed a thank you in my chat. Let me do it with my mouth words. Pinkerbell, thank you. Delighted. I've been enjoying hanging out with you for 5 months. I hope you'll continue to stick around. I don't know why you would, but I
She's your
hope so.
moderator. She's cool.
She is. She
Yeah.
is one of 3 moderators that I have.
Wonderful.
I've yet to be brave enough to do the Letterhack
really.
system. I'll tell you this. I didn't realize we were counting dancing. I will, and I'm sure, I'm positive that I'm the town nut job. Like I'm sure I'm the person people whisper about, because I'll go out into these lesser populated places late at night when I'm fairly certain no one's out to bother, and I put in earphones, like earbuds, and I like just dancing down the street.
Good.
And I during
Wow.
the summer, I do that almost every night. I
And
enjoy it
people
so
will
much.
leave you alone. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, and I wear a full suit, by the way, so they're like, "Oh, that's a crazy guy." I won't.
Hold on. Dude, you haven't seen that TikTok of the person that's been recording you that whole time? No, I'm just kidding.
It wouldn't shock me. But it's the thing is, my trick is it's
Oh.
I'm not nearly coordinated enough for it to get a lot of views. Like it's not
I
good enough
am, but
dancing.
I don't do it. I mean, I dance in the house, and I dance
I wish I had the
as
room.
long as I don't hurt my back. Oh, I will never give it up. I got it from my grandmother. She was a dancer, and she used to win trophies. Literally,
Whoa.
she was a ballroom dancer, trophy dancer. Yeah, she was
That's what I was
really
gonna
good.
say. What kind? That's
Not
awesome.
yeah, I loved it. I
Did
love
she teach you?
it. No, I just
Hmm.
had the I had the moves, baby.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, but that's a
Um,
long time ago. Shit's changed.
I never landed on. So you obviously do some formal dancing, but do you also do just like freestyle, whatever music's playing? I'm gonna wiggle
Yeah.
my tush.
Uh-huh.
Good. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Only I can't do the hip work anymore because I have goddamn talked me into putting a cage in there, and so you just can't
Yeah, what's
do the
going on with
same.
your back?
Oh, I have a bad back. I had 3 back surgeries and neck surgery. I got disabled young because of who knows? Maybe it was riding Harleys for 32 years. Who knows? When you rode those old
Yeah.
ones, the old bikes that didn't have the same thing as all these new sophisticated bikes, and you bumped your back around everywhere. I don't
Yep.
know. I really don't know, but you know.
I don't know. What about you, Matt? You a dancer at all?
No.
No.
I dance. I'll
With your
dance every
wife?
now and then. No, well, yeah, I mean, sort of, but I'll dance to make my wife laugh because I can start dancing and she will. And keep in mind, we've been together since high school. Like, I know how to make my wife die laughing instantly, and the best way is to look like a fool. And so
Oh,
I'll just start dancing, and keep in mind, I have no knowledge of like contemporary dance, or every now and then I see something on TV and it's like, okay, that's choreographed and very wild, but whatever. And so every now and then I'll just try a move that I think is a move, and it's instant, like can't
and
breathe laughing. So if I want to
entertaining
just
for her.
knock her right out, that's what I do. But no, I don't dance.
That's cute.
I used to go to, like, I'm an old school Deadhead, so I would go to like Dead shows and trip out in the
Oh yeah.
parking lot and stuff like that, and do all
Oh yeah.
kinds of crazy stuff just in the moment, that I guess you could call dancing.
Oh
But
well,
it was
there's
more
probably a
like
lot
how
of.
it was more like how it's like a mob mentality, or like how bees' wings vibrate against each other and they all know what to do.
At the
Sort of
dead
like
shows?
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
went
was
to
just very like
I
induced.
could I can't tell you how many dead shows I went to from my age
Oh, I miss it
young.
so much.
Well, my brother still does the Grateful Dead radio hour. It's called Magical Mystery Tour in Eugene, Oregon. He's been doing it
Yeah.
he's been doing it for KVRM radio 40 years.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
I met Jerry.
Wow.
I met the Dead in Eugene, actually,
Yo.
because I used to hang out with Eddie
Wow.
Claridge. He owned the Portchester Capitol Theater, Portchester, New York, where the New Riders used to play. They all used to play there. And we went out, me and my girlfriend Donna, and we were at the Holiday Inn in Eugene and with Eddie, and they came there and we were messing around. They were fun. They were funny. Bob Weir. Phil Lesh was very funny. He's a very funny guy. And that's a good memory. But after you meet them, it's kind of like, well, what else is there left? You met them. That's done. And it wasn't any big deal. They probably would never remember any of it. But we were just, me and Donna were just 18-year-old little groupie deadheads, but not like that. We weren't that kind of groupie. Mila, your sister dated Jerry. That's cool.
Yo.
I heard Bob Weir on NPR one time, and I'm pretty sure the story goes, and this is recent, I think, he found out who his biological father was.
Hmm.
And he looked him up. And can you imagine Bob Weir calls you one, from the Grateful Dead, and you're like, yeah. And he goes, and you're my dad. Like,
Wow.
do you care anymore that this guy's from the Grateful Dead? Or are you like,
Yes.
wow, it's my son?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, obviously more into the whole son thing. That's interesting, but like, come on, you're not gonna lead with that when you're telling the story. That's fascinating.
well, the guy was
Turns out my son's
he was a high-ranking officer in the Air Force. I think it was the Air Force. So it was like probably not a deadhead.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right. He's probably going to his friends and like, I just met my son. Turns out he's a dirty hippie. He's a well-known hippie at that.
A well-known dirty hippie.
One of the greats. He's on Mount Rushmore of dirty hippies or what?
That's funny. Look at this,
Yeah.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
I know. I'm getting.
bad.
I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
I have an idea for how. Wait a second. Here we go. I have an idea for how we could leave gracefully.
Okay.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, he did it. He did it. And look at this. It's usually you and Andrea. Wow.
I know.
No
and
shit. He's gone.
this, yeah, and when it's Andrea and I'm just like, how are people still watching this? Because we don't generate any. Like, I intentionally stopped generating content because I'm like, I'm just hanging out with
talking.
Andrea.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
It is. I sit after I leave the show, I listen and to you guys till it's over. But we'll just we'll end tonight because I gotta get up.
Well,
I have to go.
Tell me quickly though, while I got you here, you got any plans for the new year as far as like presentation of your show, format, guests? Do you have anything? Because I'm sitting around thinking like, what do I want to do differently? I don't know.
Well, I've
Do you
got
think
guests
about that?
I'm lining up. Yeah, of course I do. I've got guests I'm
I mean, I
lining
am
up.
too, but
I've got.
how do we evolve from last year,
evolve?
or does that matter?
Well,
Like
I've been
your
doing this a
show.
long time, and I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
I'm
what I'm
always
asking.
evolving. I'm
Yeah.
always evolving, and I don't know. I mean, it just get better at my video skills, bring on interesting scientists, which I'm working on. But even not scientists, just people. I like to bring on all kinds of different people. I like to bring on people that watch the show. I've become friends with different voices. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, I tried the slideshow format with Jennifer. We started with that, or the intermission videos, or, different. I just like to do what I like to do, though. I don't care what other people do. That's the one thing about my channel. I don't care. If other YouTubers, whatever they do, fine, let them do what they do. I like to try out and do what I do. I don't follow anybody else's format, obviously.
Yeah. It bugs me that because somebody was successful at some sort of social media or a YouTube show that suddenly we all have to be doing that.
Right. I
As
never
if
felt that
because
way.
it worked, like, because there's no way that whatever it was worked and that was unique to them.
Mhm.
Like, that's
That's
silly
right.
to think they did it, we can all do it. Let's all be successful. That's not generally how it works. That's how they want you to think it works. That's capitalism. Well, are you looking forward to the new year anyway?
Am I?
Yeah.
That's a real loaded question. With what I
Nah, but
know,
like
okay, with what I
you're
know, there's a
leading a
couple
good
of ways.
fight though, right?
Yeah. Oh, fight. I don't know if there's any fight. With what I know, it's pretty freaking scary. Am I looking forward to the new year? Well, yeah, I'm alive. I got cats. I mean, I don't know how to explain. I'm
Well, how do
not
you
looking
measure
forward.
success?
Oh, you mean on the show? I'm successful just because I make it.
How do you measure results?
How do I measure results?
1 viewer? 2 viewers?
That the I don't measure results, I think. I measure what people feel, what they act like, how they respond to the
Those
chats.
are results. Those are
Okay.
results.
And people that come visit me up here and camp out. Uh, I suppose, yeah, all right, those are results. And if people learn and feel like they learn, like Lightning Rod said on the Christmas show that he learned a lot from our channel. And whoa, that kind of was pretty cool to hear because there's a lot of other people like Paul Beckwith and Nate Hagen, a lot of people that are on the scene that really get a lot of views and do teach. And so I know, I maybe don't teach as much or as well as maybe Jennifer. When Jennifer and Jim come on, they're more of the scientist brain teachers, and I'm more of the social commentator or social issues. Delve into those. But
So
I don't
that's
know.
that's sort of why I don't know if it's a recap or summarizing certain things. I just had to like put down and then present some sort of results from this past year because otherwise, I mean, it was totally worth it. I started
Right.
doing interviews in February. I think it was totally worth it. I think people really dig it. I know I dig it. I think the guests dig it. But what else? And so I just felt like the end of the year, it's the end of something. There's a threshold here, right? It's like the end of this one and the beginning of the next one. That might be a good opportunity to be like, all right, here's a landmark, or what do you call it? Here's a benchmark. And then we'll be able to like compare it to where we stand next year. See if it's
Like
any
a
different.
graph. Like a graph.
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
are we gonna hit 2 so 2 degrees planetary
Yeah.
heating? I mean, we look at those things, these benchmarks that are hideous and horrible, that, are scary and frightening, but people have to understand and wake up to it or understand and know what's happening so they can be ready for these things. Most don't.
Yeah.
And like Jake, Jake says, like, we cover extremely horrible topics, and I do it. I don't know how, but I do. I do.
Somebody's gotta. All
Me,
right.
and there's a handful of us. Yep. Yep.
Maybe
Well, I
maybe
wanna
we should
thank
get out of
everybody
here.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim Bob, thank you, and Bim Jim, and Bila, and Zelipa, and all of you, Bill, and everybody that came, Emerald View, thank you for coming tonight. Looney Tunes, thank you for moderating. Andy, it was great to see you from the UK, and Raza's here from the UK. I have to tell you guys, I love you all, and everybody that's on Matt's channel and, who's on BCat and my dogs, all of you. Andrea's channel still, Mila, and there's just so many people out there. Wireless Mike, and I appreciate all of you and all of the new people that have come into my life through these chats and through this venue, and you, Matt. So that's my end of the year. Thank you for this, because you've improved my life. You have broadened my horizons, and I have a lot of gratitude and a lot of love. That's how I'll
This is
end.
what I do. This is simply what I do.
You're a good guy. You're really one of those. You really are. I have an immense amount of respect for you.
Well, likewise. I just need to issue a correction. It's not starting now. It's ending now.